Please don't blame me for all my thoughts. And everything we can see is just a joke, nothing more. Everything we're calling truth suddenly will kill ourselves. Can't fight, beating deep inside of me. Wasting time, but it's fine. But even that can make me feel. Can't fight, beating deep inside of me. Wasting time, but it's fine. But even that can make me feel. We're the team, selling lights for sales, killing in the name of the dead. It's everything we can see, it's just a joke, nothing more. Everything we're calling truth suddenly will kill ourselves. Can't fight, beating deep inside of me. Wasting time, but it's fine. And even that can make me feel. Can't fight, beating deep inside of me. Wasting time, but it's fine. And even that can make me feel.
What is going on, guys? You're very welcome to another Degenerate Watch live stream, and it's been quite a while since we did a live stream here on the channel, and we're back, and yeah, we're going to be talking about some Irish crime tonight on the stream, and we're going to be looking at a few clips as well. As usual, we're going to have a look there and see what's happening in Temple Bar. That's a live cam from Temple Bar in Dublin. Few people milling around still. Just waiting for a few people to kind of come in before we start off. And big shout out to everyone that's watching this back as well on the replay later on. Thank you very much for tuning in. And this stream will probably be a bit rusty because it's been quite a while, so I'll probably be fiddling around a bit, but sure, that's nothing unusual for people that are here for most of the streams. Hello to Roisin, I see a comment there. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, the Kerry plot, yeah, we're going to be talking about that a bit. I'm going to play a few clips first maybe, and then I'm going to like kind of get into a few of the stories or whatever, but yeah, that was a bit of an unusual one. There's been a lot of activity, I suppose, around the coast over the past while in terms of like drug seizures and stuff like that, and attempted imports. But I think it's got a lot to do with the trouble we're having with the naval service at the moment and stuff like that. And a lot of these criminal gangs are exploiting kind of holes in the net, as we'll say. Well, it's a fairly big hole in the net. But yeah, so a couple of other stories that we're going to be looking at also we're going to be looking at the case of two chefs in a restaurant in Dublin who were jailed the other day because they got into a bit of a disagreement over who was the better chef. So we'll be taking a look at that. We'll also be looking at the Gardaí being chased with a samurai sword recently in Dublin. Trying to see what else. We also have a couple of kind of more youth crime, I suppose. Like, I just kind of wanted to highlight a bit of that because there's a couple of kind of cases like where you see a lot of younger people being involved. So we're going to have a look at a few of those. I'm just saying what else there. Yeah, well, we have a few bits to get through anyway. But so far, so good in Temple Bar there, no trouble. And a shout out to Ryan there, Ryan tuning in from Spain. A big shout out to the Spanish crew there. And shout out to our Dublin crew too, because I know we have our Dublin crew tuning in tonight as well. So shout out to everybody. Shout out to everyone that's tuning in. So I have to get now a bit of a clip up, and do let me know if well, I say somebody let me know by now already, but do let me know if things don't sound right or whatever, and kind of the setup slightly different from the last time I was streaming. The the headphones that I used, I'm using a different set of headphones, and I'm just trying to work it out where I have everything here to make sure everything's okay. But I see, and this is the thing as well. Like, there's going to be moments like this where I have, like, you know, where I can't take, like, when I'm trying to remember what's happening here. So as I said, hello to Roisin, who's joining us from County Clare, and then hello to Rob, who's joining us from Dublin. Rob, how about run out there to Temple Bar and get in the shot there for us? Give us a bit of content. And then Ryan watching us from Spain. So shout out to all the lads and lassies out there. Yeah, so I'm gonna get into a clip here first. I was wondering where that sound was coming from in the background. It's the other. There's a phone there playing the stream on the other. And hey there to Dennis joining us from Canada. And hope you're doing well, Dennis. Okay, just getting a little clip ready there. And hello to Martha Hanley. Thanks for joining us. And happy 2025 to you as well, Dennis. And actually, just before we begin there, I want to give a big shout out to Kiwi Dave. A lot of regular viewers here will know Dave from in the chat. A lot of people have spoken to Dave. Dave's not too well at the moment. He's okay. There's it's nothing crazy like that or nothing. But Dave can't join us tonight for the live stream. So we'd want to just say get well soon to Dave, and a big shout out to him as well. So hopefully see you soon again here, Dave. And hello to Dr. Nimrod. I will see if we can get this clip up here.
To a unit behind us, outbound.
Okay. Yeah, we're going to take a look at this clip here. So the Gardaí in Ireland here have decided to use some new tactics in order to combat, bad behavior on the roads, because there has been a substantial increase in the amount of road accidents, especially over the last few months of the year there. But before that, they were already trying to kind of, get people to drive a bit better, and they reckon that since like over the last couple of years, the driving standards have seemed to have gone downhill. So they're trying to get out there, and they're trying to like, reduce the number of road deaths. So they're trying a few new tactics, and they're borrowing some from other police forces. Obviously, like they're not revolutionary tactics, they're just new tactics to Ireland. So they're using a lorry cab, a HGV lorry cab, to catch people that, doing stuff like not wearing seatbelts and being on mobile phones. So we're going to have a look at that. Another thing they're also doing now, they have some unmarked motorcycles. And I seen in the news there during the week that they've been having a bit of success in catching people out in Kildare, where they've been trialing these bikes. That they're around a few places, but they're hoping to roll them out to more areas going forward. Like, and there's apparently a lot of requests in from different areas for this HGV truck. So we're going to take a look at this. It's kind of it's handy for them in a fact that if they're trying to catch lorry drivers, let's say, that are on their mobile phone or that are doing other things while they're driving, they're up at a higher vantage point, so it's easier to see in. And plus, people aren't really looking for a HGV being, you know, a Garda vehicle or whatever. But obviously, as time goes on, people will get wise to it. But you know, for now, I suppose. So now we're going to have a look at this unfortunate Tesla owner getting caught on a mobile phone, and yeah. And Rob's just saying there, it's mad seeing them in truck cabs. In fairness, it is. It's something you're not going to expect, like, you know. So yeah. So we'll have a look at this anyway.
White Tesla driver is texting on his phone. Phone is in his left hand. He's after putting it down now, but he definitely was texting.
Tango Bravo 210. We're directly behind here. We'll pull it in here. You know why you're being stopped? Yes. Yes. You have your license there, please? Sir, texting while driving is highly dangerous, okay? Yeah. Phone in your left hand, okay? And you have kids in the back, all right? It's not good, all right? Needs to stop. And I shouldn't have to tell you, sir, okay? There's no ads on the TV, no ads on the radio. Put the mobiles away. You have a beautiful car, and you have all your connections there. So you don't need to have the phone in your hands, all right? Just do me a favor, will you put the phone away? Please and thanks, okay? Please, because you have kids in the back as well, all right? €120 and 3 points to your license, okay?
So as you say there, that motorist got 3 points on his license and €120 fine for his trouble. And I'm not too big a fan of the Teslas myself now, to be quite honest, especially not the Cybertruck. So we can't even have a Cybertruck over here in Europe. I think somebody actually, there was one. I see if I can actually find that. I don't know if anybody's seen that. There was a Cybertruck seized over in the UK. Yeah, I just see it there. Tesla Cybertruck seized after being unlawfully driven on UK roads. Says the Cybertruck was prohibited from driving in the UK, has been seized after being unlawfully driven in Greater Manchester. Officers from the Greater Manchester the Police Transport Unit stopped the Cybertruck with which a permanent UK resident was driving in Whitefield after it was found the vehicle was registered and insured abroad, making it prohibited to drive in the UK. But it also says that legitimate concerns exist around the safety of other road users or pedestrians if they're involved in a collision with a Cybertruck. It added that the Tesla does not hold a certificate of conformity, and as a result, the Cybertruck was seized under Section 165 of the Road Traffic Act, which gives the police the ability to seize vehicles driven without a license or insurance, and the driver was also reported. But I've seen a lot of videos about the Cybertruck, and like first of all, like it looks crazy looking. First of all, like I have to admit there is a sort of a novelty factor there with the fact that it looks so unusual compared to other vehicles, but it's not quite practical. Like I've seen people trying to actually use it as a pickup properly, and it's not really practical. Plus there's been trouble with the paintwork, and I see I don't know, there's been so much trouble, and that other guy as well that cut his finger off. Cut the top off his finger when he was trying to show, you know, that bonnet that as it closes down, or the hood as you call it over in America, closing down, and they took the top off his finger or whatever. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff that is mad about it, like, do you know what I mean? And like it'll be interesting to see, like, in 10 years time how many of those trucks are still, like, because there's old like Chevys and stuff from back in the 60s and all the people have kept running, and they're still running them, like, you know. And I'd say there's stuff on farms and stuff all over the place that's running like donkey's years. And it's just crazy when you think about it. Like, I just don't think these vehicles will have the longevity of other, especially with the things like the batteries and all that need replacing. It's quite expensive to replace. Yeah, Frunk. I forgot Roisin. Yeah, see, this is all this new age car stuff. I just prefer to keep things simple. But yeah, but you're saying they're like death on wheels. Um, yeah, definitely. Like it's I just the videos I've seen. I would not be happy with them. And like fair play, like some of the guys that are doing reviews of them, like they're able to go out and afford these, or you know what I mean, have money to buy these things and like to have another car. But if you're like investing all your money, there have been people that have like had savings and bought this thinking it's this a great investment, or they just want it or whatever. And then like if you have all these problems, I think like I don't know. I don't think things are just there yet, especially with the whole. I'm not quite sure, like in the US, the way it is with the charging infrastructure, but I know over here it can be quite poor at times for people, especially like when I see videos of people even in the UK, trying to get around in electric cars. It can be quite challenging sometimes. So, yeah. So, but the going back to the trucks and all that with the Gardaí, they're having to kind of go to these more covert measures, I suppose, when they are out on the road. And that's the thing. There's a crisis at the moment. There's a crisis seems to be going on in all these organizations that need manpower. You know what I mean? Like, it's a people problem. Like they can't get enough people recruited, in these certain fields or whatever. Like, so like, for example, like we'll say the naval service, like the issues facing there are trying to make the job appealing for people in terms of, I've read a number of articles where they're saying that, and that this kind of feeds into what we're going to talk about later about the Kerry Mothership, but with the naval service, they're having kind of a crisis there with recruiting new people and then retaining people that are already there. And it's got to the stage now where we've had to reduce the amount of boats that we can send out to sea to patrol at any one time. And it's actually got to the stage where you can only put one boat to sea at a time, even though we've bought a number of new boats over the last few years. Like we've had a few new naval vessels purpose built for us. Going back, I'd have to look up the dates, but the likes of the James Joyce and the George Bernard Shaw, those kind of newer vessels, we also got two vessels from the New Zealand Navy, which are going to be used on the Irish Sea, which they're more suited to that, and it frees up the larger vessels to be out, in the Atlantic and stuff like that. But the problem there is they're having a recruitment problem, and it's trying to make the job attractive to, I suppose, younger people as well, because if you're going out to sea for a number of weeks, maybe 6 weeks at a time, it's very hard to have a life back on land when you're leaving and you're coming back for a couple of weeks and you're leaving again. And for people that are trying to start a family or buy a house and stuff like that, it doesn't fit in with the work-life balance, when you're away and all, especially people having young children. So that's one thing. Another thing is a lot of jobs on land are able to pay more, and it's a better work-life balance when you're able to clock out at 5 o'clock in the evening and go home to your wife and kids or whatever. So it's to try and make it attractive, and it needs more investment, I suppose. And they have been doing things over years, but now we're kind of being hit on the fact that we can't really look after the undersea cables off the south coast and off the west coast. And there's been a lot of stuff in the papers recently about the Russian ships out there, and they've been kind of surveying the cables, and there's a lot of worry about what might happen. So we don't have the capability to see what's happening underneath the water, and we're only now starting to get into things like having a primary radar here where we can actually see threats in the airspace and stuff, where we're not relying on someone else or stuff like that. So they're having that problem in the Navy, and then there's issues in the Army, and then obviously and a lot of this has to do with recruitment, and it's the same in the Gardaí. And that's the thing, with there's not enough guards on the road, so people, I suppose, are seeing less Gardaí out on the road. So, you know, I suppose maybe a lot of people are kind of getting complacent and like just kind of letting bad habits creep in when they're driving and stuff. And it's kind of got to the stage now where, you know, they're kind of on the back foot trying to get back to where we were, because we had been making great progress over a number of years in reducing road deaths and improving driving, and it's gone to a stage where it's kind of gone backwards again. And we had an awful lot of accidents around Christmas time, and as obviously, you know, a lot of people traveling and stuff, but you know, it just seemed to me to be unusually more, and there was an awful lot of hit and runs, I find. And I don't know if that feeds into people with not having insurance and the cost of things and stuff like, but you know, there's a lot of factors in it, but they're trying to make these little inroads in different places. And a new thing coming online is, well, basically very shortly, when you're taking out an insurance policy. And I actually thought that this was the case. I was reading it the other day. I thought it was the case already, that when you're actually, when you're well, like, I have to get distracted there. I was just saying something come up in the side. I was wondering what it was there. Yeah, there's with the insurance, I always thought you had to give your driver number off your license when you were taking out an insurance policy anyway. But apparently, like, you're gonna have to give this now your driver number, so that they can make sure that, you know, the right people are supposed to be driving and stuff like that. And the Gardaí will have access now for the first time to the motor insurers database on the side of the road, where they can actually look and see if you have a valid insurance policy on the side of the road, which, whereas up to now they can't do that. Maybe in the middle of the day they might be able to ring the insurance company or ring, you know, your broker or something and find out that you do have a valid policy. But if you have no documentation on you and it's 3 o'clock in the morning and you've been stopped somewhere, at least now they're able to see if the person has insurance or not. And that is a big step forward in terms of that, because it's all about kind of linking stuff up, you know, so that they have access to these things. Because the number of uninsured drivers on the road is skyrocketed in the last number of years, and it all has to do with cost as well. And people are just strapped for cash everywhere, and things like that are being, you know, I suppose people are taking a chance or whatever. But I just want to go back to the comments there, because just catch up on some of the comments. Rob said, "You have a beautiful car." Stop, Garda. Yeah, that's the thing. I'm not a fan of those Teslas, to be quite honest. Like, you know, but yeah, he's a high tech car, so I don't see why he has to be holding the phone. Like, surely there's some connectivity there, but who knows? Maybe it's having some problems. But and Dr. Nimrod saying, "Why does every guard have the horrible county tip accent?" I don't know. I think they get certain guys to come out for the publicity to have guys. I often think as well, like, you know, when they have when they were releasing the Garda uniform, the new one, and there was a lot of flack over that. People were saying that, you know, it looks like sportswear, or, you know, stuff that they bought in Aldi or Lidl or something like that. But the latest thing that's happened is they're now bringing in this baseball cap, and there's been like controversy over that already, because it's so easy to counterfeit it. There's already like these, you know, you can buy them on, like, I don't know if it's Temu or wherever it is, but you can buy these things, and they're like, people are already making imitations of these baseball caps. Like, so they're just saying it's ripe for it to be abused with people trying to impersonate Gardaí and stuff like that. So they're keeping the old hats for, like, you know, ceremonial purposes and stuff like that. But you know, the old hats were, I suppose, iconic, kind of like to us, like the, you know, the Bobby's hat is in England, you know. But yeah, so yeah, so it's quite interesting seeing all the changes. But the hat one, I think they're after making a bit of a mistake there, because it's so easily copied, you know. But they're kind of, I suppose they're kind of following after a lot of other police forces. You see a lot of police forces in America, in Australia, And then a lot now in Europe are starting to like get away from those kind of formal caps and stuff like that, and get into like baseball caps. I suppose like the cost is probably cheaper, and they're probably, you know, let's be honest, like they're probably more comfortable to wear than the other caps or something. Like they probably must stay on your head if you had to go take off after someone or whatever. But yeah, interesting to see. Quite sad to see the old. You know, I kind of I'm one for nostalgia. You know what I mean? So, you know, but yeah, and nobody's really happy with the Cybertruck in the comments there. Martha Hanley is saying there were three car crashes near Detroit that were Tesla, 2 killed in fire. And that's the thing, when these cars go on fire, it's another disaster on top of the disaster of the accident, because you have the batteries. And I know a lot of fire departments now are starting to get the equipment, like, you know, I've seen there's blankets, and there's some of them are just putting them into bats of water, or even just towing them to a better location and just letting them do their thing, stuff like that, because they could be quite volatile, like. And you see that as well with a lot of electric scooters and stuff like that, where their Dublin Fire Brigade was actually telling people, if you have an electric scooter and you live in an apartment block, don't be leaving the electric scooter in the communal hallways, or charge it there, or even just storing it there, because if it goes on fire and people have to evacuate, they can't get by your scooter in the hallway. You know that you shouldn't be leaving it in a communal hallway, like, you know. But that's the thing. There's been a lot of those fires, and they could be quite deadly as well, because some of the batteries explode, like. So yeah, and I remember seeing a video as well where somebody's electric car was starting to, you know, somebody was just out for a walk, and I think there was I don't know if it was a clip of it or it was an article I was looking at, but it was the 2 people like were walking by this house, and they seen smoke coming from the car, so they decided to knock the front door and tell the people that, like, hey, your car is smoking out there. And so they came out, and by the time, you know, they got people to come out and all, this had started to, you know, escalate a fair bit. And what ended up happening was it was like an electric disability car, like, you know, it was kind of like a van, but it was converted so you could wheel a wheelchair up into the back of it, you know, but it was an electric one. And I'm pretty sure this was in England, and it was some scheme that they got the car under, like it was for, you know, like they had a diesel one of these before, but there was some scheme about, you know, getting an electric one. It was supposed to be better and whatever and all this, right? So they ended up getting this electric one anyway, and they had it parked in front of the house, and I think it was charged. It was something there was some fault went with the battery anyway, and what ended up happening is the whole thing went on fire, and they were trying to get people out of the house because they were afraid, you know, it was right up to the front window of the house, so they were afraid it might spread into the house. So they were trying to get everyone out, and of course one of the people in the house is disabled, like that's why they have the van, like. So they were trying to get this person out of the house as this fire was getting worse. And anyway, when they looked into it, I'm pretty sure that there was some fault with the battery, but I'm pretty sure that where the charger was put on the wall was wrong as well, because it was too close to the door. So if the car's on fire and the charger's on fire, if that's compromised, you're having to pass by it through the door. So I'm pretty sure there's some regulation about where the charger can be, how close it can be to the exit or something like that. So there was a lot of problems, but that was some government scheme, you know, and I could have been some cowboy people installed it. Now, I don't know if it was the charger that caused the issue with the battery, or the battery was just faulty, but, you know, it could have been a complete disaster. These people could have ended up losing their home, but there's a lot of trouble with that. And then you see in China, a lot of the cars are going on fire. I think I even had it in, I don't know if it was a live stream or one of the videos ages ago. I think we looked at a couple of cars going on fire over there. So, yeah. Ryan saying costs a fortune to fix them. I can't. Now I don't know when you put the commentary. I don't know if you meant about the naval ships or these electric cars, but yeah, the electric cars certainly do cost a fortune. I was just trying to catch up on the comments there. Russian fishermen not in the sea. Well, oh yeah, I'd say that's what it was. The Antar or whatever. They've been around. They were actually just off Dundalk up there, kind of in the middle of the Irish Sea, looking at cables there. But yeah, hello, just another nut. You've joined the nuts here. So nice to see you. Thanks for joining us. Um, and Ryan said, I'm sure I've seen a clip from the US where they pushed a burning car into a swimming pool to try extinguish the flames. And yeah, that's what I was saying, that they just have to take extreme measures in some of these cases, like to put these fires out, just to like, it's not even like they can just use their conventional methods or whatever. Like, and I seen another one about this blanket they can put over the car, and it kind of, I think it stops the air getting in at it or something like, but it's supposed to stop the battery fires anyway. Yeah, the decoration. Yeah, I just noticed that they're just another us saying the decoration look very cool. I only have to copy that. I I don't know if they're still the Christmas decorations that are there. They look Christmassy, um, or whether they're there all the time. I can't remember the last time we actually when we had this up on the stream whether they were there or not. No, that's a good observation there. I wasn't even I didn't even notice that there. And still, it's 1 in the morning here, and there's a lot of people still milling around out there. Get that banner off there. It's at 39 degrees Fahrenheit there. So where I have it says it's 8 degrees Celsius. So I'm not too good at converting the Fahrenheit to the Celsius there. But yeah, I often wonder, like when we have this up, it's just handy to have something in the background there when I'm rambling there. But you never know what we might see. The boys there. Thought your man was doing a bit of staggering there. And then Rob saying, yeah, that's the Christmas decorations. Left them up for January around the whole city. Probably come down this week. Yeah, as well. I'm just thinking too, with all the bad weather we've been having, this probably wasn't safer to be having lads out in cherry pickers in the winds trying to take down everything. Oh, and here's the pawpaw now in the van. What's going on? Just doing a little drive by there. Lads in the rickshaws. And it was lads in the rickshaws before that would have been doing a bit of sweating there when the Garda van was coming up. There was a lot of stuff going on there. And Dr. Nimrod saying a boyo's out on the town dropping some E and smoking spliffs. There's a lot of people out there, I'd say now, that are on more than the alcohol. Rob knows all the Rob could actually go out on the streets and accost some of these people for his life there. But where's your man running to? I don't know what time the Shack restaurant closes at. I remember we have been streaming a few times when they've been out there taking in the tables and all from outside, and trying to get people that are hanging out there to get to move on there. So I might just for some pizza. I wouldn't mind some pizza now myself. Any recommendations in Dublin there for a bit of pizza? I know you like the frequent Doom Slice, which is somewhere I do want to try, as I've said. Looks very good. Now, yes, we are still watching. Yeah. So I'm gonna have a look now for this for this other clip. I had him up there earlier on, but look at that there. Oh yeah, sorry. I had a. See, this is the thing I said that it'd be fiddling around going on. I had it written down here, where we. That's typical now. No, I have it now. Yeah. So yes, never mind there. That was just a technical issue. So yeah, I have there was a clip I wanted to look at. It was a pursuit, but it was a helicopter footage of a pursuit. But this guy's out on foot and he doesn't know where he's going. Trying to locate that clip now. Oh yeah. And now I have it now this time. Dr. Nimrod saying, I think there might be lots of pizza places around there. Some might be open. I'm a dub, but I hate Temple Bar now. And I'm saying now that's the thing with Temple Bar. Going out there, it costs you a lot more. Like if you go around the corner somewhere, you get a pint for a lot cheaper. Like you might be paying about, what is it now, at about a tenner a pint in there, I'd say. Now, obviously, if you come over as a tourist and you're out and about or whatever, and you know you want to just go in and say you've been in there and had a pint and all, I suppose if you pay tenner, get your pint, and there's a bit of live music on in there or something like that, then fair enough. But I wouldn't sit in there and be like sessioning in the place, like, because it costs you a fortune, you know. But you do see people all the time posting on social media some of the like receipts that they get from these places, and they'll be saying, oh look, I paid this for this and all. And you know, you'll have a lot of people saying, well, what do you expect? You know what I mean? Rob saying, not a place I'd find myself much either. Dr. Nimrod. And he's saying, Dr. Nimrod saying, it's so expensive for a pint. I go into the barracks for tax-free alcohol, much cheaper and a lot more fun. Well, that's it. The less tax you can pay, I suppose, the better. Just think, yeah, everything's quite so expensive now. You know what I mean? So, you know, every little helps, as they say. And that shouldn't really be Tesco's motto anymore. Like, you know, this prices have gone up. And Ryan saying, is it a bank holiday tomorrow? Yeah, it's bank holiday. It's the new bank holiday we have. It's for St. Bridget's Day, I suppose, which was on the 1st of February. Which, yeah, this was brought in there, I think, two or 3 years ago. Maybe 2 years ago or something. Now they're actually talking about having adding 2 more bank holidays. I think they're going to bring a motion about that in the Dáil when it comes back again, eventually. But I think they're I think eventually when it comes back. Eventually when it comes back, they're looking at two new bank holidays. I think they were talking about one in April. I think it was April. Maybe I got that wrong. I'm not sure, but the other one was definitely at the end of November, I think. So, yeah, it'd be interesting. I suppose two more bank holidays wouldn't be too bad, I suppose. But I suppose there are people out there that have to work on bank holidays anyway, and some people that, you know, like a guy I watch has a company, and he when there's a bank holiday coming up, he says, of course we work on a bank holiday because we are not a bank. So, you know, you have to get out and earn the dollar, you know. So or I'm saying Bridget the legend, and Dr. Nimrod saying that he had a pint of Guinness is over 10 pound. I was gonna say that's going back €10. So yeah, it's yeah. Like when does it get to the point where it's just like, you know, well, like that is outrageous. A tenner is like, but like when's it get to the point where it's absolutely like, you know, just barefaced cheek, like you know, to be charging you like 15 quid a pint or something. Rob said Bridget the legend. Oh, Bridget. And that's we used to actually we used to make those the St. Bridget's crosses at school years ago. I remember, like, you know, I can't imagine mine was too good, like, but you know, hence why we still probably don't have it, like, but and Roshan said I put my scarf out. Yeah, and Dr. Liver said every little we could scrounge out of you. Yeah, and that's the thing. I don't know if these club card deals that they're doing now are actually, you know, what would you say, deals? You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, you see, especially with the Christmas decorations, it'd be like a Christmas tree, you know, €85 normal price, €20 club card, and you're like, what are you talking about? Like, there's just outrage. There was some outrageous stuff going on in there, like, you know. But well, yeah, see, that's the thing of the bank holiday with the higher wages, you know, and that's the thing. Maybe some of the stores, you know, bigger companies, it's usually the multinationals, I suppose, kind of have a large workforce to be working on bank holiday. Won't want that because they'll have to pay extra money. But you know, and Ryan saying they still make them. Well, that's good that they still do that, and because that's quite cool. Like, you know, because I always remember that, and you know, it's kind of good to keep the old traditional things going and stuff like that, you know. But the you know, that's it's good to see, like, you know, um I'm trying to think I've caught up on the comments so far. uh Dr. Nimrod said everybody else did, but not my class ever. No, I don't I when I recall doing it, I don't remember doing it every year. I'm not sure, but I remember doing it definitely in primary school. We did it. I can't really remember. I can't really remember in secondary school that I do much on stuff like that. Like, I know there's different. Trying to think, did we ever do anything like that? You know, was there any? You know, and do you know what it kind of reminds me? You know that old that old technique that they have where to do the hedgerows, isn't it? Like to like make these. You know where they intertwine the hedgerows? I don't know what that's called. You know where they're making fences. I don't know if you get the stuff that grow like that, or I remember saying that it's a real old. It's a real old technique or something. I seen them doing it. It's like oh, what is that called? If anybody knows, let me know there. It's like, you know, that it's like a real old technique where they like the weave branches together or something like that, or to make it's like out of these hedgerows, but it makes this solid fence. Like, um, yeah, Roshan saying, yeah, I saw a show about it. Yeah, I can't even remember the name of the thing, but it was very interesting of and how strong this stuff is. But there's places that I've seen that they've done this for, like, well, like they're bringing this back now again, like a lot of some of these places in England. They're trying to you know, it's like it's good for the environment and all that. But yeah, I can't think of the name of it. But yeah. And Ryan said, "Or wolf branch keep the bulls in." Yeah, they had all like there was some other thing they were saying as well. Like there's some other I that'll bug me, but I'll if I think of it, I will say it. Defo Maiden Broski. Yeah, so let's get a bit sidetracked there for a second. There's a shock. So what we'll do is we'll have a look at this clip, right? And I'm going to get a little drink there while we're watching the clip. This is a pursuit, and this guy doesn't really know what he's up to. But let's have a look at this, and then we'll be right back.
He's almost fenced himself in now in the backyard here, and obviously he knows where the LAPD knows where he's at. It also looks like he might be missing his left shoe.
Yeah, I was gonna say it doesn't look like he has any shoes on, or at least not. Yeah, it doesn't look like he has
you're right.
any,
I don't think
any
shoes at all. Maybe
all.
I'm seeing a. Yeah, maybe I'm seeing a sock. You know, I'm not. I don't want to tell the criminals how to do their job, or the alleged criminals, but you should probably have shoes on before you run from law enforcement. So I only imagine it's a matter of time before this guy's in custody.
And the other thing here, Mike, too, compared to the last pursuit from within the last half hour or so, the spotlight is very clear. It's overhead. I mean, there is absolutely nothing to get away from in this case. And
sorry, what is this lad at? Like, I often see this in these pursuits when there's a guy running around down on the ground, right? And the helicopter's up above, and I don't know how they don't like how many other guys are out running from the police at the same time. Like I know it's Los Angeles here, but like the chopper's for you, son. And I don't know why he's running around there like that. But and no shoes on. I'd say he lost those when he fled the vehicle. But I just see Rob was saying, is it the wattle? I think it is something like I think that's what it is. I remember that from history where there was like wattle and daub houses, wasn't it? Where they used to put the sticks, like the wattle, like the sticks together, and then they used to put like mud on the outside or something like that to make housing. Like back in like I think it was like way back. Like I can't even remember. Like in the Bronze Age, was it, or so? Back that like it was way back anyway. But yeah. Let me see. Hang on there. Right there. We're all over the place here. Because this is, I see there's discussion going on about the thing. Yeah, Dr. Nimmer said, I think they're the roundhouses. Yeah, I can't remember. I remember doing it in history in school, these wattle and daub houses. I think it was back in like the Bronze Age, like back, like way back, like, when like that was like primitive housing or whatever, like, but like this, wait there, I'm going to have a look and see, can I say this, I'm just having a look. I'm trying to see, like, Oh yeah, is it willow? Is it the ones they're made out of willow? Is it? Because I see a thing here, living willow fence build. Living willow fences. Yeah, it says here. Sorry, I'm looking at a post on Blogger here. It says living. Where's that bit? It says these living fences were originally constructed for less than romantic reasons to exclude wandering livestock and thieves from vegetable and herb gardens. but the medieval gardener also created ornamental open woven diamond pattern fences and tunnel arbors for pleasure gardens. But see, these things that I'm looking at, they're not really, look more like a trellis, these things in this article, you know. You know, a trellis on its side. Like, it's not the thing that I was thinking of. There it is. There it is. Hang on there now. We have it. Wait till I see, can I wait till I see, can I get this up on the screen? We'll come back to that. We'll come back to this car pursuit there now in a second. Hang on. Right there now. Oh, hang on there. Right. So it's I just I lost the tab where it was there for a second. So yeah, so it's saying see this here, this sort of thing I was on about. It's like, so I thought it was the living fence. This is the thing I think I seen, where it's like yeah, that's what it was. It's making sense now. Yeah, now that I think of it, it was because they're saying here it's it's a corridor for wildlife and small animals. Yeah, because the thing I think I was looking at, they were trying to stop to keep the livestock in, but also let the wildlife, you know, not be confined, you know, to let them roam through, you know, for breeding and stuff like that and feeding and all or whatever. So they're saying here in this that benefits of hedgeland are remarkable. A corridor for wildlife and small animals, the age-old countryside craft has been praised for preventing soil erosion, capturing pollutions, and allowing creatures to move more freely. They're saying hedgeland plashing or pleaching is a seasonal job that has been practiced for centuries, taking place between October and March when trees are dormant. It says a management solution for overgrown hedges. It's a living fence which promotes regrowth from ground level. While a well-laid hedge looks beautiful, hedge laying is all about training natural growth and weaving or bending branches together to form an ever-growing barrier. That's the thing I think I was on about. Yeah, I can't believe that. Yeah, just Rosie said, and just like that, we are exploring hedgeland. Like, yeah, like this is what happens. You know what I mean? I suppose that's the beauty, I suppose, of the live streams. Like, you never know what you end up talking about. But I do promise crime. I promise crime. Rob saying to Degenerate Watch, there's a national campaign for putting holes in your fences or making places for little animals to get through. Think hedgehogs is what they're aiming for, and that's actually good, and it's good that they're actually like putting out that message, because I can't remember the last time I actually seen a hedgehog. I definitely haven't seen one in my garden, but like out anywhere or even heard of anybody seeing one, you know. And I suppose I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing, because you know, like when you see them out too much, you don't kind of, you're getting into areas where there's kind of danger, you know, if you're seeing them a lot out on your road or something like that. But yeah, I know that the hedgehog has a hard time, but yeah, that's actually good though, like especially like out in rural areas too, like. But there's a lot of hedgehogs, and you'll know as well from experience, there's a lot of wildlife in urban areas. You've had a few run-ins with foxes. Actually, you've helped to the fox. I must actually say sometime, and I'll bring it up in another live stream. The fox had a pipe stuck around its neck, and Rob managed to get someone to come and get the fox to be able to go and remove the thing. So and now the fox is back where it was living, you know. So it's obviously much happier and looks much healthier now as well. It was doing fine, you know, as you could with the pipe around its neck, and I was quite surprised at how you know active. You know, you'd think that it'd be kind of like, you know, sitting there, like lying there with that around them, they couldn't do anything. But you know, after a while, it obviously would restrict maybe feeding and stuff like that. So Rob said, "I am the fox whisperer. I caught that fox, you liar." Well, that's true. Actually, you did, and then your man just came and took it away. Well, you went with your man, like, you know what I mean. But it was good. It was good. And the fox still doing well, like, so that's great to see. But yeah, any updates while we're there on the fox? And Dr. Nimrod saying hedgehogs are cool, and if you put a small hole in your gate, they will come in and eat all your slugs and bugs and help them survive. Yeah, that's what Rob was just saying. He thinks he was saying there's I had the campaign. I had the comment up there saying there's a national campaign for putting holes in your fences and making places for little animals to get through. I think hedgehogs what we're aiming for, so that's kind of good. What did the fox say? She's back living where she was found with cubs, so that's really good. And the fox's name was christened Rita, so it's good to see Rita and Fam getting on well there. So I'd say anybody joining the stream now is going to be so confused, because when you come on, the first screen is what is hedge laying. You're very welcome to the Degenerate Watch online seminar on hedge laying. You know, that was the title of the stream is just clickbait, but now people are here and they're hooked on hedge laying. So, you know, but yeah. So so we'll move on from hedge laying there for a second. I know people. People were quite riveted by the hedge laying there, but yeah, it's mad how you just kind of get into different topics and stuff like that. But yeah, it's cool. But yeah, so we have a lot of stuff to get through here. So Dr. Nimrod said, talk about expanding your channel's overview. Will there be talk of how to plow straight rows? Yeah, well, we could get into that, you know, like agri chat. And yeah, the Roisin could be the house expert, because Roisin knows about farming. So, you know, we have a quite good panel coming on here. You know, we can what's the saying for John Deere? I can't, you know, there's I know there's one people that like New Holland say, you know, if she's not blue, she won't do. I know there's one for the other ones. Like there's some of the other, they all have these sayings for, you know, the different tractors and stuff like. But yeah, I see that with the John Deere as well, with the just we were saying GPS. I see a lot of GPS is getting installed now with tractors on farms. Like I've only kind of, not recently, but like, you know, maybe it's last year or maybe in the middle of the year there. I kind of noticed there was a lot of those articles coming up about GPS equipment being stolen now with tractors, you know. So Marcia said we have GPS on the tractors and drones. And would you, the drones, would you kind of use those for like surveying fields and stuff like that? But so yeah, the technology is good. Technology is moving on. Dr. Nimrod said, my family-in-law has a lot of farmers, and if it's not green, it won't be seen, and therefore that's what it is. If it's not green, it won't be seen. There is the way. Yeah, I've been trying to figure that out for ages. I know it's the other one. If she's not blue, she won't. If she's not ain't blue, she won't do or whatever. And then if she's not green, she won't be seen. I like some of those. They're good, but yeah, so handy with the likes of drones and stuff like that. For that, and then good too for like I suppose from a security point of view, if you had to watch something, if you had something that you wanted to keep an eye on, it's kind of like, cover the distance and stuff like that. So that's, yeah. Russian uses the drone to find Russian tanks. So probably a good drone pilot there. But yeah, like I would be surprised that with all these Russian ships going around if tanks do roll up, onto some beach somewhere. Be I can imagine that they'll be quite shocked when they get onto some of the Irish back roads. Even the tanks will have trouble getting up some of them, And they'll be kind of saying, "What's this? 100 kilometers an hour speed limit on this road?" Well, you won't be doing that in a tank anyway. I think they're changing the speed limits here though. They're reducing them down. This is, as I said, it's another part of the road safety initiative that they're trying to go on. Just when I was saying that there, we'll have a look at someone there now. Hang on. Tabs galore here. I'm trying to. There's it. You're saying about the road safety. This I can get this one out of the way there while I was there while I'm here. This is just an article I was just going to look at when we were here, just when I was saying about road safety there. It's this sort of thing that's going on, like I get back to the. Sorry about that. So yeah, so it says driver arrested after double discovery following M50 crash, and you can see the vehicle there in bits. But yeah, it goes on to say that this vehicle was involved in a 3-car collision on the M50 motorway. That's people not familiar with Dublin. It's basically like a ring road around Dublin. And it says a driver caught up in a traffic accident on the M50 earlier this week has been arrested by Gardaí after tested positive for 3 different drugs. The Dublin Castle Roads Police Unit, along with emergency crews, rushed to the scene of a 3-car collision on the motorway on Monday afternoon. The incident led to 2 lanes being closed temporarily, causing serious tailbacks, though thankfully no injuries reported. Gardaí at the scene carried out a roadside drug swab on one of the drivers, and the test came back positive for cocaine, opiates, and benzodiazepines. So your man was probably in bits there behind the wheel and could have led to that accident there. But it says not only did the driver test positive for 3 different types of drugs, Gardaí also discovered that the motorist was uninsured. Shock. Following the roadside test, the driver was arrested so that a blood sample could be taken and the results analysed. Gardaí shared the aftermath of the collision on Facebook. The image shows an Audi with deployed airbags surrounded by emergency service vehicles. A spokesperson said our roads police unit from Dublin Castle and emergency services were called to attend the scene of a 3-vehicle collision on the M50 late yesterday afternoon, which involved this car. His driver was uninsured and tested positive for cocaine, opiates, and benzos. Very fortunately, there were no injuries reported, and the driver was arrested and a blood sample taken back at the Garda station. The sample is now subject to further analysis. Its results will determine the next step. So if the concentrations in his blood are above a certain level, then he will be prosecuted, and the threshold is quite low. With some of those, but depending, like if you have been using, you will definitely be over. You know what I mean? So so it says motorists who are convicted of drug driving will receive a minimum 1 year driving disqualification if they are found to be above the threshold for cocaine, cannabis, or heroin, while they can receive a minimum of 4 years driving disqualification if they're found to have drugs in their body and are impaired to such an extent that they do not have proper control of the vehicle. And that's the thing there, like yeah, your man nearly had the full test there. Yeah, the granny, I just say that I thought that was part of the article there. I was like, why is that the driver? Like, I was thinking, is that the driver? You know, this is no, that's by the look of it, a scam, you know, or, you know, not a, probably not exactly a scam, but it's not something you want to be clicking on. And the granny's face and the hand look different. You know, it's like the hand is not aged as much as the face, or hasn't been got tanned as much either. Like, so yeah, definitely AI at play there. Yeah. So so that was just that. I just wanted to look at that there. I just thought that was you know, mad there in the middle of the afternoon there. Yeah, man, probably out of his head, you know. Most likely what happened there is it was probably, does it say what time it was? I read the thing there now when Monday afternoon. It's probably around time, you know, people finishing work and all that, and the traffic was starting to bunch up. He was over and didn't see the traffic stopping in front of him, ran into the back of someone, you know. But yeah, not good, and no insurance either. So, you know, here's the other people having to fork out their insurers. Is that only a crime if you're caught? Yeah, she does look devious. Yeah, I don't know what she's so happy about. What she after getting insurance there or something? Maybe she's just, yeah, maybe car insurance coverage based, right? Maybe, yeah, maybe she's delighted with the insurance and that you know, she's been covered, like, you know. But yeah, she's the Ballymun granny. But yeah, so that's that story. So we can check that one off there. Another one here. I think I have the video here. Bear with me for 1 second. Oh yeah. Sorry, I thought I had the video. No, it's on. I'm pretty sure it's on the article. Just 1 sec. Yeah, this is one I just seen this mentioned in it's in one of the related stories there in that it's on that article there, but it's and actually Rob sent this my way during the week there. Said you were target for Putin now. I think that happened before. I remember we were mentioning Russia a few times, and then stuff started happening to the stream, technical issues and that, and you know, but Yeah, I was saying that this story, Rob actually sent me a video of this the other day. I'm hoping the video is on this article because I didn't put it onto the computer. I have to show on the video there. I have to see. Yeah. So yeah, we'll look at it this way. It's better. So this is to do with drones, and I've just seen it in the bottom of that related article there. Let me see. Can I get this? Can I get this? To do that. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, it's Degenerate does take. Yeah, it's slow going here at the moment there. I'm trying to get back used to, and this whole thing that I use has changed since the last time I used it. When I came onto it the other day to like start setting things up and all, like to kind of get back into it again, I was like, oh, it's like trying to figure out things again. But it's like the supermarkets keep moving things around. Now hopefully I can. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I was just making sure I could put it in full screen. So yeah, so up in Dublin, they've been having trouble in the prisons with people dropping contraband in using drones, and we're going to take a look at something from just during the week there, where they were making a delivery via drone to Mountjoy prison in Dublin. So we're going to take a look at the video clip here now when I get it up on the screen. Yeah, so take a look at this. This is a drone doing a delivery of most likely drugs to Mountjoy prison in Dublin. Let's go over there now to play. I don't know what the situation here is. Yeah, I don't know what the situation there is now with this thing. Like, if like, I don't know at this stage how they haven't like been able to put a stop to that, because that's been going on quite a while. Like with these drones coming in, they had put the netting, as you see, there's some netting there down over the yard. The netting's been there for quite a while or whatever, but like it doesn't seem to be effective. You know, I don't know what that system they're using there. It's obviously like some sort of like a charge or something, you know, that burns the rope that they have the contraband tied onto, and it'll fall down or whatever. But how that is being seen going on there, like, you know, I don't know, you know, it's crazy. But Dr. Nimrod saying they have the anti-drone nets around Mountjoy, and I see, you can kind of see in that video there's some sort of netting there that it falls down onto, and I'm wondering, did it have that burning, like it's supposed to burn through the net or something as well, like, or I'm not sure, like, you know. But definitely more cost effective. Definitely more cost effective than a helicopter, as you've seen in that other video I did with the Mountjoy helicopter escape that time. They had to go hijack a helicopter and fly in to take the prisoners that they were freeing out of Mountjoy. They actually flew down into the yard, and that's another reason why to start putting all these other things, systems in place back then to stop things like that happening. Now we have drones, which are much harder to spot coming in, I suppose. But like, you know, they have to kind of keep on top of everything. The technology is keeping ahead of them all the time, you know. But probably had a lot of gospel books getting delivered. Oh, that's a fact. That is a fact. I'm sure, you know. They were all eager for Bible study. They were so eager for their Bible study they had to get the books drawn in. It was probably Amazon or something, you know. I can remember saying it's a game between the prisons and the prisoners. The prisoners are always one step behind, but they do their best to keep up. Yeah, that's the thing as well. Like, you know, you see a lot of those auditors over in the UK and all that. Some of them actually are going, they're not flying over the prisons, but you know, they're hanging out near the prisons, like, and they're not, you know, the way you can't fly over a prison like with a drone, like, but I'm saying they're like there's a lot of this golden people now going on where like there's even guys just standing there with a drone controller, not actually flying a drone to see that they get reaction, you know, or whatever. That's a new tool now that they're using, I suppose. And that's something we're going to actually look at on a future live stream, because I've been thinking about that. One of the auditors actually came to my town here to audit the Garda station, and basically kind of, you might as well say, he trespassed into the back garden of the place, and they kind of came out after him, sent him on his way, but he came back. And so we'll probably watch those videos in a stream some night, as opposed to me making a standalone video about it, you know, as well. At the same time, like, it'll be interesting to see, and I'll be able to kind of, it's weird when it's your own town on it, like, you know what I mean? When you're looking at other towns and all, like, it's just weird, like, but yeah, that should be an interesting one. But your man's going around the place now. He's fairly prolific. I see that there's a lot of, I see videos coming up suggested a lot where he's going around the place, mainly going to Garda stations. So yeah. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take a quick look at this video. And then we're going to come back with another one of these news stories here. So this is this pursuit that we were looking at there. I'm just going to throw that up. I don't know. I'll start it back from the start again. I don't know if it's going to, when I click it in, if it's going to go back to where it was, or it'll...
The more your previous point is even...
Yeah, we'll just go back to the start on this one here and see what's going on.
Opportunities to get out. He's almost fenced himself in now in the backyard here, and obviously he knows where the LAPD knows where he's at. It also looks like he might be missing his left shoe.
Yeah, I was going to say, it doesn't look like he has any shoes on, or at least not. Yeah, it doesn't look like he has
right. I don't think
any
shoes at all. Maybe
I'm
seeing a... Yeah, maybe I'm seeing a sock. You know, I'm not, you know, I don't want to tell the criminals how to do their job, or the alleged criminals, but you should probably have shoes on before you run from law enforcement. So I only imagine it's a matter of time before this guy's in custody.
And the other thing here, Mike, too, compared to the last pursuit from within the last half hour or so, the spotlight is very clear. It's overhead. I mean, there is absolutely nothing to get away from in this case. And I think the more we take a look at this, the more your previous point is even more well said, the fact that he's sort of boxed himself in.
Yeah, he's able to jump over this, it looks like, over the fence there, the concrete fence, right, Mike?
I'm just looking at this here and I'm thinking to myself, like I said earlier, why is he continuing to try flee? Like, you know, like, you're caught. Like, when you see that spotlight on you, you know it's finished. Like, you know, there's very few circumstances I've seen people get away. Like I've seen a few people get away from the police helicopter, but they were driving extremely fast cars, you know, and these were out on the highway, like, you know, they weren't like on surface streets as such, like, you know, but they just managed. I think one I remember saying the helicopter had to give up because they were running out of fuel because the pursuit had been going on for quite some time. I think they had actually joined the pursuit from already having been out doing something else or whatever, and they had to call that off. So then they lost the car. And I remember seeing another one where the guy actually just was driving that fast that he was able to, like, basically out. I can't remember what car he was driving, but he got a good head run on him, and he was just gone. You could just see from the chopper he was gone off into the distance. That clip, I will find that clip sometime. Where your man like got away, but this guy getting away.
He can get onto the other side, but that spotlight's still gonna follow his every
And he
move.
definitely doesn't believe in cardio.
Well, yeah, and it really makes you wonder what the guy's thinking because he's obviously got nowhere to go.
Oh,
Look at
there's
this.
someone in
now
that
we've got
backyard.
people that are out here in their backyard, and now he is in this other person's
Get the head
backyard.
taken
So
off
the
in there
last
now
thing you
by
want is
someone.
a confrontation. Look, waving at him, get out of here. Last thing you want is a confrontation between.
Imagine you're just chilling in your back garden and you're like, oh, look, there's a chopper over there, and oh, but they're shining into our back garden. Oh, here's this dude, like, you know, but like, you don't know who he is, like, or what he, like, it could be dangerous, like, but it's not gonna outrun this police chopper. Yeah, he's at a disadvantage there.
Homeowners and a suspect. You got a dog in the mix
dog.
now as well. So
Another person there.
yeah,
Oh, dog,
so hopefully,
great.
Pushed him away. Did you catch that?
Sticking by.
This homeowner pushing the suspect out of his backyard. So, you know, hopefully law enforcement gets here quickly. I know the ground units are
This is
kind of in the
ridiculous.
area. Oh, look at that.
See-
We're going to try to move SkyCal around a little bit, but you
Oh.
got this homeowner who has now taken matters into his own hands and taken this
The dog's
suspect down on his own.
rabid.
And you got the dog barking. There's two people in this backyard. What a mess.
Okay, Mike,
as we
this
kind of move
is-
around, look at still struggling with him.
Please,
hold
like,
him
we'll just
down.
sit this one out.
Wow.
Wow.
This
But
is
Mike,
wild.
we
And
They
got
have a
officers-
dog and everything.
We thought this suspect may be armed and dangerous, right?
Yeah, that was the original information, is that the
He's disarmed.
suspect
And
was armed and dangerous. So hopefully for these residents, comes law
Officers,
enforcement.
yeah.
You've got the green gun. Has really realized the jig is up, and it's time to just give up. You have these residents really taking matters
staggering
into their
there
own
is just
hands
on
tonight,
that
guys.
video.
You know, at times we have seen that happen when when these pursuits and these suspects their areas, and sometimes are just trying to protect their families. And at this point, it actually was a help to law enforcement here
Yeah.
to get this
Fair
suspect
amount of cops
into
there quickly.
custody.
Yeah, it almost looks like we're seeing a couple of extra people sort of make their way in there, but certainly all the officers have now de-escalated the situation and seem to have this
Yeah.
person under control. So at least
Luckily
that's the
for
good
that
news.
guy, the
But,
police
you
showed up.
worry, Mike, is when we were talking earlier about driving at high rates of speed, whether you hit someone or anybody who's out and about walking, and then it takes on a new evolved form here, jumping into people's backyard, and you worry about the safety of those homeowners because you person is or who this person is or what they may have with them. But at least now it seems, as you see the video from earlier on the right side of your screen, that
I think they
homeowner
knew
presumably
straight
the
away.
homeowner
I think
taking this person parking around them and somebody else there as well. It's fortunate it was in that situation.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And, you know, what was hard for the law enforcement here in this situation is that as they're on one side of the street now, in order to get to the home that he jumped
Hoods
into,
up.
they got to drive all the way to the other side. So, you know,
that's the thing there. Like, they were not letting him. I think they knew. Like, once the saying the chopper was there, and they were like, "Oh, this guy is up to no good." Like, you know, and they kind of done their civic duty there and detained him till the police got there. But you know, that's what I was saying. I was saying that guy's probably delighted the police showed up because he was probably going to get a beat down there, or that dog was going to take the leg off him. But yeah, I just thought that was a bit of a funny one there because that guy was clearly an amateur, you know. Probably his first time ever trying to flee from the police, you know. He didn't read the guidebook, but yeah, crazy, like, you know what I mean. But I just don't get some of them, you know, like that was clearly over before it even started there for him. And I don't know. I really don't know why he was doing that. But next up, what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at a story from another story from Dublin there. Just trying to tidy up here a bit because I'm lost at a sea of tabs. So this is a story from Dublin there last week, and it says I'll share it up on the screen there. It links up and everywhere. Yeah, there's just there's inundated with tabs here. Yeah, so we're looking at this here. It's the moment man dressed in dressing gown. Wasn't me. But brandishing samurai sword chases cops captured in CCTV clip. I'll try find a clip. If it's not here on this. But basically, yeah, it says this the moment police officers were forced to flee as a man wearing a dressing gown ran towards them with a samurai sword. The attack is understood to have taken place in the Blanchardstown area of West Dublin when Gardaí attended the man's property. The Mirror reports CCTV footage shows two officers running back towards their car while a third man can be seen running in the opposite direction. The footage shows the man walking into view. You see in that still there, where the mouse is, there's your man. It says the footage shows the man walking into view with the sword in hand. He shouts at the two officers, then strikes the passenger side of the car with the weapon as it begins to reverse away. The man then walks away momentarily before doubling back and striking the vehicle once more as it pulls back further. He can be heard urging officers to move, saying, "I told you, sick in the head. Sick, no medication." So I believe it says, I'll get to that now in a second. It says the attacker then turns and strides away, his open dressing gown flapping around his legs in the wind. The Mirror reported that the aggressor is well known to Gardaí and is considered a dangerous, violent figure. Since the incident on the morning of Saturday, January 25th, he has been on the run in an effort to avoid facing the consequences for the attack. And he's also wanted by the PSNI, which is the Police Service of Northern Ireland, over an incident in Northern Ireland. Source said he's in the wind, but he won't stay a free man for long. He knows he's crossed the line and is going to face a hefty sentence when he's charged and convicted over it. So I'm not quite sure what the charge is going to be. It's like maybe it's going to have assault, some sort of assault or so. I'm not quite sure, but they're definitely threatening. But yeah, it wouldn't have been good if he had caught one of those guards with that blade. And also, like, I'm just thinking they were running down the yard, they were obviously up at the house. So if one of them had a fell or something, because I have seen that a few times in these like machete attacks and stuff, where people will fall down, and then you're just at the mercy of whoever's with the weapon. I don't know why that thing is written at the bottom of there about the contaminated limoncello, but I don't know why that's tacked on to the end of that story there, but that's unrelated to that. But yeah, I want to see. I thought they had the clip there. I think that's what's trying to load there. It could be an advertisement, but so you're gonna find this clip. Yeah, I thought we see. Can we get it on this? These are claiming to have the video here. see it's not loading on the page. Could be something to do with the cookie settings. I think I might have declined cookies on that, and it just won't show the video player, you know. Okay. Not to worry, we'll trying to see if I can yeah, just 1 second there. If I try, what I'll try to do is I'll oh, that's a bit of a disappointment there. It's not no, it's not loading up the video player for that one. But yeah, unfortunately I don't have the clip there. Shocking. Yes, it is the legend. Who is links? No, I said I have links open everywhere. The tabs, you know. Legend of Zelda. Roshi said that's what it's like, isn't it? There. Dr. DeRosa said Blanche not surprised. But yeah, like that will eventually get caught somewhere. He'll eventually slip up and will be apprehended. But yeah, that's an interesting one there. Quite scary for those guards as well. Like when you think about it, not something you're expecting. But I know they're saying that guy's known to them and he's a violent figure or whatever. But I believe obviously like the guy was saying something about. He was saying sort of sick in the head, no medication. So I presume the guy's having some sort of mental health issues there or something like that. And that's the thing as well with like the lack of services. And I seen that there in I think I was actually watching earlier about the stuff they're putting into the New York subways now to this. It's basically they're saying it's to combat fare evaders, but it's really they're saying, you know, to stop homeless people living in the subway or whatever, because there's people still fare evading even though these new barriers and stuff have been put up. And like it's just like the whole thing over there in the subway is that they're trying to like there's they think this is going to deter crime and stuff like that, but it's just making it harder for let's say like homeless people to be down there or whatever, and then they can have less police officers down there, but that don't encourages the crime. Do you know what I mean? When there's less police, like to think that, you know, but it's not really about fare evasion. I don't think it's kind of more about the homeless down there or whatever, but you think he would be easy to find half naked with a sword? Well, that's the thing, you know. He's on the run. He should be pretty easy to spot. But that's the thing, you know. Like the dangerous people going around the place, like with, you know, with stuff like that, like, you know, and you just don't know what you're going to come across, and that's what I'm saying. Like you really don't know now, like what you're going out to meet in these jobs in law enforcement and all now. Like it's even some of the other emergency services, like the ambulance service, now they get a lot of abuse off people, you know, when they go up to these situations, you know, involving like drug abuse or mental health issues. And that's the thing I was saying there. They were saying like a lot of the issues, let's say with like the homeless people or people with drug addictions and stuff like that on the streets is a lot of them do have like mental health issues, and there's no services there for them, and like shooing these people somewhere else isn't really like addressing the problem. Like, oh, if they're not in the subway, they're going to be somewhere else, and if they're causing a nuisance in the subway for by whatever way, whether they're hassling people or whether there's robberies going on or whether there's whatever's going on or drug taking or whatever, it's just moving the problem to somewhere else, you know. And the thing that I was watching about is they're saying that, like, you know, these like outreach workers go down to these people and they'll like get them off out of the subway, you know, and they'll get them into some place or whatever, and because there's not enough services out there, you know, they end up either slipping through the cracks or they can't get the help they need or whatever, and then they see the same people a couple of months later back out on the streets, and you know, it's like a vicious cycle all the time. Like, so they're saying if the people aren't getting the help, like especially like with this guy, let's say they may arrest him, they may put him in prison or whatever for the attack, but like, is he going to be able to get the help he needs in there, like, or whatever, so that like if he does get back out or whatever, he doesn't reoffend, like, you know. And that's the thing with this sort of thing, you know, like you have people over here and they get out on bail or whatever, and even sometimes you have the Gardaí objecting in court to bail. Bail goes ahead, and then the people end up going off to commit worse crimes. And like I've thought for a while about doing a video on that, because there's a few different cases around of like shocking cases where stuff like that's happened, where people, I've mentioned it a few times. There was the guy who was out cycling his bike, who was knocked down by a guy that was driving a car with no insurance, no NCT. I'm pretty sure your man was on heroin at the time, and he this guy had an awful lot going on in terms of criminality, and they had been stopped by the guards earlier in the day, and I have to look more into it, but there was stuff went on and they were basically let on somehow, and he went on to run this chap down later on. It's a very sad story, and drove off and left him there for dead, like, and went home, told his wife about it, and they decided they went to bed, like, and they decided they didn't do anything about it. And I think it was the next day when he went to the Gardaí about it or whatever, like. But yeah, that's a sad story. And then there's another one about a guy who got out. He was in for some violent crime, got out on bail while he was awaiting sentencing for that, and he ended up breaking into a woman's house in Bray and beating her up and nearly killing the woman, robbing the house, and then they eventually got apprehended again, but they had objected to bail the first time, and he'd been let out on bail, and he went on to do that. Like, so there's a lot of that going on where lads are out on bail and they're doing worse things, you know, and as I said, in cases where there have been guards where they're saying, the guards are saying, like, they're objecting to bail, and the judge goes ahead and gives bail. And the thing is, like, I know the judge has the final say in those matters there or whatever, but like, a lot of these Gardaí with certain individuals, they know these people, you know, from their local town or city or wherever, you know, they're dealing with these people all the time. They know what they're like, they know what they're capable of, they know they've spent more time with this person than the judge has, you know, and these are the people on the ground. These are the people that are going to have to go back out and deal with this guy's further trouble he gets into or whatever, and they're telling the judge, look, I don't think this guy should be out. It's not just for the random case of, like, let's just keep everyone locked up, you know, but there's genuine concern in it, like, you know, and the judge goes, no, you have to grant bail or whatever, and then this goes out, and there should be some sort of accountability for that when the guards have objected to bail for these reasons. This guy's going to create further trouble, and then, you know what I mean, like, that you're going to end up in those situations. So, you know, but Yeah, and that's the thing, you know, the any of the politicians that I seen in that thing about the subways there, Dr. Nimrod that they were saying about oh, like, you know, it's to cut down on fare evaders and this, that, and the other, and it's really not, because there's people going down to the subway and videoing where these new barriers are, and there's people still getting over them and under them and all of this, and the only people that it actually stops from fare evading is disabled people or people that are carrying a lot of items, you know. But there's still homeless people like can get in to these to get in there anyway, like, you know, because, you know, there's some able-bodied people, you know, they're able to get in around it and all like that. So like it's yeah, it's just it's I think they're just trying to like look like they're doing something, but they're kind of like, it's not really like. And then there was a video I was watching of a guy, and he was showing that they have these proper gates that don't allow any funny businesses sneaking around them, but they're not really using. They don't have them. You know, they're not as widespread. They're not as widespread as these other ones. All these new ones they're putting in, like. We were saying there about let's just try just try to catch up on the comments there. It kind of gets away from me from at times. Um, yeah, there's a lot of mad stuff going on over there at the moment. It's hard to keep up with everything. I was saying that the other day to someone in a comment. It's very hard to. I was actually saying it to Joe that does be on here. It's very hard to keep up with what does be going on over there. Like in terms of like in the last couple of weeks, it's just constantly, you know, there's something new every day or something outrageous or whatever. Like, you know, even like what was the thing, the even the like the press conference they had after that plane crash the other day. You know, it's and that's sad as well. The two plane crashes there, the one in Washington and one in Philadelphia. Yeah, it's crazy. And I don't know if any of you seen some of the footage from that one in Philadelphia. That one's very shocking. That ring camera footage, you know, where the two people are coming out to their front door, and the crash is happening just like, you know, over the houses, you know, across the road from theirs. And yeah, it's insane. Like, you know, like the fireball off it. Like, I believe I think the plane was that long in the air, so probably the full tank of fuel. So yeah, I seen where they were saying that about, you know, it's got to do with the DEI, the diversity and all that. Like, I don't buy that it's like it's got to do with that at all. Like, it's I've been looking at a few pilots giving their take on it, you know, and like it's nothing got to do with whether there's, you know, this person, that person, the other person as an air traffic controller, a pilot or whatever. It's literally anybody can make a mistake and anybody can have an accident or you know, like, I just don't think. I think that's kind of looking to like to lay blame where it's convenient for you, like, you know what I mean, by saying that, like, you know, for, you know, for whatever agenda you're trying to like go with, like. So like what I was saying is that any of the pilots that I was looking at are saying that it's probable that the helicopter probably that this in terms of that the helicopter, the one in Washington, they were saying that most likely the pilot of the Black Hawk had another plane. He had visual with another plane that he may have mistook for the actual plane that he was supposed to be having visual with, and that's, it just wasn't seen, you know. And of course, like, only time will tell, I suppose, when more information comes out exactly what happened. But it kind of these pilots I was looking at talking about it were saying that it is easy to confuse things, especially when you have a lot of planes in a line lining up to come in, in a sequence. And also, if all the lights in the city, it's nighttime. There's, it's it's a tragedy. But I don't think kind of blaming races or religions or whatever, or whatever way you want to lay blame. I don't think that's right, to be trying to I think talk like that kind of deflects away from the actual, the victims. Like, let's say, because there's people here that have died, or whatever, and families that have lost loved ones and all. And when you're coming out and saying stuff, it shouldn't be about hunting a boogeyman, that's convenient for you or whatever. It should be more about finding out what happened. And if there is somebody that has done something wrong, well then that should be obviously looked at. But I believe, from what I think is going on here, that there's been a mistake made by probably the pilot of the Black Hawk, thinking that he's seen a plane that he thought was the one he was supposed to be looking at, and it wasn't. And he just it just happened, and of course there's nothing the passenger plane could have done. They weren't maneuverable. They believed that the helicopter had seen them, so they had no reason to believe that something was going to happen, but yeah, I actually seen that they're saying that goes on a lot in some of those airports. That they were saying that some of the flight attendants said that they see that going on a lot, these training flights. You think that's something they shouldn't be doing, especially in a very active airspace like that, especially with civilian aircraft and all. And hopefully, and I know it's always the way. It's all these new regulations and stuff are written in blood, as to say. But hopefully now there's something done about that, where this can't happen again, where there's not going to be especially even at nighttime. It's one thing having training flights in the daytime or something like that, but it's I don't know, I'm not an expert on that field or nothing, but I'm just saying that you'd assume visibility in the day is be a lot better for if you're going to be in that sort of airspace, or you know what I mean. But yeah, it's terrible. And then as Roisin was said there, that whole thing, not even a sorry for your loss, just spewing racist comments. And that's what I think. I'm thinking it should be a time for not trying to stir up that sort of thing, it's a time, especially I don't know how people in the families feel, where it's you'd expect the president to kind of come out and be commiserative, not commiserative, I don't mean that is wrong word, I said, but more empathetic. Yeah, that's what I mean, to what you're saying, and the fact that there's victims and families involved here, and whatever, and it's just and that's the thing here as well, on the channel, I don't like too much to get into politics and stuff, because it can be divisive with people, when it comes to discussing, and obviously make comments like that's not right in anyone's book. But what I'm saying is, when it comes to policies, or all of these things like that, I don't like to kind of to get into that. I remember I made a video a long time ago, way back at the start of the channel, that kind of touched on some. Now I do have one political type video up, as such. It's one about Golfgate that went on here during the lockdowns, with some politicians going off to play golf when everyone else was locked down and they got cut out. But that's my own politics here in Ireland or whatever, and I don't mind kind of having a bit of a laugh at that sort of. But I remember making a video involving US politics, and a lot of people had said to me, well, we're kind of coming here to. This was more of a. I don't know. I got rid of the video anyway, but what I'm saying is, a lot of people were saying that, They wouldn't be into that, you know, like getting political in terms of like, you know, videos. Now it was only a kind of a funny video or whatever, but yeah, I kind of got the sentiment from people that it's kind of, you know, coming on here to kind of have a bit of a chill and a relax, and that's what I said. I don't mind talking about things. Like obviously we're going to touch on things that are political in nature or whatever, but I'm saying, you know, about getting into like debates about that, or even like when it comes to like religion. But obviously I'm going to talk about these different topics are going to come up in different scenarios or whatever, but I you know what I'm saying, that in terms of like specifically having a discussion about something or whatever. But yeah, this is the thing, like I'm saying, it's a Roisin saying there that comfort grieving people, don't try to blame an non-existent transgender helicopter pilot, and that's the thing as well. This thing that I find about like, you know, these initiatives where they're trying to like put people into jobs or whatever, you know, to and this is the issue, I suppose they're having there or whatever. He's saying that like, oh, this sort of stuff is to blame for this. And here's the thing as well. I've always been of the opinion that it doesn't matter who you are or what you are or what you believe in or whatever. Like if you're qualified or you have the skills to do a particular job, then all of that stuff shouldn't really matter whether you're, you know, a man or a woman. If you can do that job good or do that job, like some people, you know, like can like everyone's different, of course. So like there might be people that are more skilled at a job than others. Everyone might be, certain people, there might be 10 people that can do that job, and there might be 4 or 5 of them that excel at that job, you know. But like it shouldn't matter whether you're, you know, a man, a woman, a this, that, or the other, or whatever you go by, or whatever your religion is, or where you're from, or the color of your skin. If you can do the job, you can do the job. And I think it should be about, you know, like advertise the jobs and then take the people that are qualified for the jobs, the best people. You want to have the best people and not be playing into this whole thing of, you know what I mean? That like that's what I'm saying. Like this identity thing where it's these people's fault, or you know what I mean? Like it's kind of, it gets messy then. Like, yeah, and that's the thing. Roger said the identity of the helicopter crew has not been released. He just made it up, and this is the thing. I find that there's a lot of there's comments and stuff being said when there hasn't really been time to look properly at everything that's happened, like, you know. So like, yeah, I don't know, it's tough. And see, that's the thing, if see, this is going to be a big focus of attention, obviously, this and that other plane crash. And Dr. Nimrod saying there that the list might even be redacted from the final NTSB report released to the media. And of course, you've got to have people saying then too that that's some sort of a cover up why they won't release the you know the list. And you know, there's going to be a lot of controversy over this, I can tell already, like, especially as we go further into it, you know. That's the thing. I think I'm not saying, like, you know, like, I don't think, like, here's the thing, from the air traffic controller point of view, from what I've seen, I can't see any like issue there, where even they tried to say again just before the collision, have you got visual with that, or whatever it was that they said. And that's what I'm just thinking, like, you know, it is a tragedy, like, but it's hard to know what happened. But I do just think there was some I think they thought they were doing what was right, if you know what I mean. I don't think there was negligence there, like, in terms of, like, they were, you know, deliberately being lapse, you know, in what they were doing, like. But, you know, there is questions to be answered about, like, having these things going through that sort of airspace, you know. But yeah, and then especially if it's a list, yeah, the list of military names, I don't think, yeah, because as well, for privacy. And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, that training flight, that training flight that they were doing is for like they'd normally be transporting you know, we want to, for lack of a better term, VIPs, you know, important people or whatever. So like I don't know if they'll want to release the names of those, but you know, because I suppose like if you were a family member of those, because you know the way they're good at, like, if they get a name of someone, they're tracking down the family, and then maybe the media would be harassing the family for, you know, to get a story or whatever. Like, so you might have that scenario why they might not want to release the names, you know. Yeah, and it's crazy, Roshan, as well. Like, we're not that long into the new year, you know, and there's a lot of stuff happening. You know what I mean? A lot of crazy stuff happening, and then like there's it's definitely going to be mad going forward, because things are just like, you know, sometimes you think things are just a bit surreal with what's actually going on. But what I'm going to do now is we're going to I'm going to take a quick little break here, if you don't mind, just to run to the lavatory and get a quick drink, and we'll be back and we'll have a look at this Kerry Mothership, because that was the main subject of the stream. So what I'll do is we'll come back to that, and then if there's a bit of time after that, I have a couple of the other stories, and if I don't get around to finishing the other stories, I will keep them for the next live stream and we'll have a look at them then. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to play a little video here. It's just clips that are going to play here while I just take a second there to go to the toilet and get another drink. So I will be right back, and I will see you guys in a second. And I'm back. So thanks for hanging with me there. While I just had a quick break there for a second. See, Dr. Nimrod saying I've been in that train engine's cab, the diesel, not the steam engine. I've also been in a darts cab too. That's the diesel there, was 076. That's just a few random clips I had there. Kind of, I like to go out and take videos with photographs, different things and all. And yeah, so yeah, I do. I like trains myself, boats, planes, all that sort of, and cars as well. You know, anything mechanical as well. But yeah, yeah, quite a few clips I have there of different things. But yeah, I said I'd when I came back anyway, I'd go on to the main topic of the video, and that is the Kerry Mothership. So basically, this all kind of started when well, the first I seen of the story was I think it was a couple of weeks ago, maybe it was about 2 weeks ago or so, and they were saying the Irish Examiner was reporting or no, sorry, the Journal was reporting saying that they arrested 4 men they alleged were involved in a major drug trafficking operation in the Atlantic. And it says Gardaí investigating an alleged international drug smuggling operation in Kerry believe that a large quantity of drugs is floating in the Atlantic and may make landfall. There was also speculation that the drugs may have been transferred at sea, but they did search the vessel when it came into Limerick, and there was no drugs found on board, but they did arrest 2 crew members there. Altogether, 7 people have been arrested in connection with this. This article now that I'm looking at here was from the 15th of January, and this was right at the start of when this was kind of breaking and all, and they were saying that they were monitoring the movements of the ship, which they believe acted as a mothership. Now I have a photo of the ship I'll put up now in a second there. I just said this was a major international law enforcement mission, including intelligence analysts from Europe, from the European Anti-Drug Trafficking Agency, MAOCN in Portugal, and led by Customs and Anti-Organised Crime Gardaí here in Ireland. They said the operation had been underway for several days and involved specialist undercover Gardaí from the National Surveillance Unit. And at one point, a crash involving the suspects in the alleged drug trafficking plot near Cara Savine in Kerry prompted a local Garda to be called to the scene, and unbeknownst to that local officer, members of the Garda National Surveillance Unit were not just watching, but it is believed a listening device was planted in the vehicle. So, like, they were well on top of this operation from before, you know, like it was even, like, you know, properly underway. Like, it says the officer went through the process of a so-called material damage only road collision response, helping the motorists to swap details and noting the participants in the incidents for a pulse entry. And it's the, you know, the National Police computer here. Gardaí do not routinely investigate non-injury road collisions. Their role is to make sure that details are exchanged. It's a daily occurrence for Gardaí all over the country. However, in this instance, the details taken by the local Garda have proved critical to the much bigger investigation. So, you know, him attending that, you know, he probably didn't think it was a run-of-the-mill mundane incident, you know, and it turns out to be part of a, you know, international drug smuggling operation. The Garda left the scene and went on to his next call, but the secret operation continued when senior Gardaí from the Garda National Drugs and Organised Crime Bureau were continuing their work. They continued the mission, monitoring and watching as the alleged drug traffickers moved towards a point where they had planned to take possession of the drugs. It says so about the mothership. So we'll have a look at this. I'll get the ship up on screen here. So the ship is the MV Royal. And here you can see I'll it's this boat here. And it's a bulk carrier, flying under the flag of Malta. And so it says somewhere off the west coast, there's another operation underway. It's understood that the naval service, backed up by their law enforcement colleagues, were monitoring a cargo ship. This was the Mothership, as we're calling it, a vessel which was due to call at an Irish port, but which had a different goal also, namely transferring a large quantity of drugs. Guardian Customs were monitoring the movements through open source means, also tracking it through its transponder signal. The Irish authorities were watching its movements, and at some point over the weekend, the men who had been involved in the car crash also took to the water. It's understood they had purchased a second-hand rigid-hulled inflatable boat, thought to be worth close to €10,000, and it was this they were planning to use. Sources have said that the men were not hugely sophisticated in their seafaring abilities and were haphazard in how they were dealing with the operation. It's believed they had also been renting a holiday home in the area, and this is reminiscent back to the MV Machu, which was another recent drug seizure last year down off the south coast of Ireland, where it was the biggest drugs haul in the history of the state, where the large cargo ship, the MV Machu, which is causing another thorn in the government side here at the moment, and the fact that they're kind of stuck looking after it, and I think we're planning on getting rid of it, but it's costing a lot of money, and I believe there's residents that live nearby where the ship's been moored are complaining about the noise of the engines constantly running on it, and I think it's costing insane amounts of money. It's cost at least, I think it's over €1 million since we've had it here to because every time they see I don't think there's enough room in the port down there for it. So when other boats need to use the berths, I think they have to get tugboats to come in and move it out of the way and then move it back. And there's a lot of that costs money every time they have to do that. Before I go on, I'm just going to have a quick look at the comments there again. Rosie saying we move to current events. We are diverse. We sure are diverse. We're oh no, that's back up. Sorry, I had moved down there. Let me see. I got lost. That didn't move down when the comments moved. Yeah, the just in relation to the trailer, it does. Those engines have proved great value for money, seeing as they arrived in the 1970s, and they're still on the go. But it just goes to show like that there is good people there in the maintenance over the years as well, keeping them going. And it's kind of shocking what you see there up at Inchicore with all the old 201 class. A lot of them there, and they've been butchered for parts and stuff like that, and those were very expensive. And I know there's some reasons why a lot of them were there, because they don't have capabilities for some of the services they need to be used on. But it does seem like a big waste, and then the fact that we kind of should be having more freight on the rail here, and but a good thing there is they're opening that link down to Foynes, the port of Foynes in Limerick. They have that, they're reopening the line down to there, so that'll be good in terms of that. But another one that should open is the Rosslare to Waterford line. That would be great if there was container traffic able to come into Rosslare or stuff like that, and to be able to go across to Waterford and vice versa. And then, of course, you could go up out of Waterford to other places, and you could have a better kind of little system going there, but They were talking about turning that into a greenway as well down there at one stage, but I think it's safe at the moment. I think it's, I think they're I'm not saying that they're going to do anything with it anytime soon, but I do think there's more there's more weight behind them hanging on to try to do it, And I see there the Dr. Nimmer saying I've even driven a train in Sweden and so did my daughter. That's pretty cool. It's a very nice thing to have done. And then as well to be Sweden, I'd say is a beautiful country to go and visit. I think Rob was saying there earlier his uncle lives there. So so that's yeah. I don't know if I'd adapt to the weather. Like I suppose it's be a lot colder than here. Like but I don't like the cold. But I'd say it's beautiful up there. And Norway is another nice country as well. For fishing. Sweden good for fishing as well. But I see a lot of that with people go to Norway on fishing holidays and stuff like that. And it's great up around there. And some of the fish that they catch are absolutely massive. And Dr. Nimmer said I lived there for the best part of 17 years, and that's pretty cool. And then like I obviously moved back to Ireland, but yeah, no, that's it's a lovely place. I'd love to go visit, Sweden or somewhere up around there, somewhere different, But yeah, I was saying there, I just went back to the comments there, but I was saying there about this whole thing is the way these men weren't very sophisticated in their seafaring abilities and haphazard and all this kind of goes back to the MV Matthew thing where they had bought that fishing trawler to go out and use it as kind of like a shuttle boat to bring in the drugs, like, and they ended up running aground, and these people were suspected as well. Like they'd been going around trying to buy a boat and they didn't really know. I think one lad tried to buy a boat up in Donegal and your man kind of got a bit cold feet over it because they didn't really know what they were at. And he backed out of it, I think. And I have been saying, and sure, between one thing and another, I never got around to making a video on it, and I hope to get around to making a little video on that someday. I had been in the process of, putting stuff together to make the video. And then, of course, between one thing and another last year, and just kind of that certain projects that I was working on in terms of certain videos kind of fell by the wayside. And I suppose people will know that have been here for quite a long time. I had a lot of like different series going on the channel, and like I do kind of want to see how things go. We'll kind of look at some of the other videos I was doing or whatever, and kind of might go back to doing here and there, but I want to kind of keep a variety going as well. But some of those it was kind of hard to keep up with. If there's 3 or 4 different series going of different videos, is trying to keep going with each one. It kind of was juggling the whole situation. With too much going on, so I was trying to kind of refine it back and then see what kind of works and what doesn't. But yeah, but like now that things seem to be somewhat back on track here, can start kind of looking at getting into some more, like kind of some of the other videos that we used to do or whatever that people like to see or whatever. But yeah, like it's good to kind of keep things fresh as well, and kind of keep moving along. But that's the thing, as I was saying, I had planned on making that video. And then, but I will get around to doing something on it anyway. And if not, I'll probably do something like this, where we do a live stream and maybe talk about it or whatever. Like, but and the reason why with that one, like this story is a little bit more simple, whereas the other one was kind of you have the 2 boats, the fishing boat, the thing, and then you have like basically like the 2 groups of people. And I was trying to kind of piece it together, from the origins of that boat and what was going on with that before it got here. And then they had went up the Irish Sea here and they had reported some engine trouble at one stage, and there was a lot of faffing about going on. And then obviously when the trawler ran aground out on a bank just off Wexford down there, they were obviously panic central. And then obviously the naval service was closing in on the cargo ship, and that was quite dramatic. And also there's a lot of moving parts to that story, whereas this one's a little bit more cut and dry, so to speak. Plus that other story with the MV Matthew, that's kind of still dragging on with people being brought before the courts over it. So it's kind of still, I know this one's fairly an active case still, but like there's I suppose, if it makes sense, this is easier to to explain or to go through than that other one, especially if it's different when you're doing it on a live stream. You can kind of like hop around or whatever, but when you're making a standalone video about it, it's trying to figure out what way you're going to tell the story, like, from how it, for it to make sense, like, instead of. But it's easier in the live stream, because then if you're talking about something and someone's like, oh, actually, what do you mean about that? Or, that doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? But it's just on a standalone video, it seems that there's a lot to that particular story. But but as I was saying, this is kind of reminiscent of that. But they're saying in the darkness of a cold Sunday night and Monday morning, they left the location on the coastline of North Kerry, and the Gardaí and other services watched them in the early hours of the morning on Monday. They had removed the seats on the rib and left them behind on the isolated quayside. It's suspected it was to make room for the load, which obviously makes sense. So, like, obviously these guys haven't a clue, like, that they're being watched doing this, so, like, they're already done, so it's going to be a fruitless endeavor here. It's understood that the investigators are aware that a message was received to say that the drugs were floating in the sea off Kerry. They haven't been cut loose from the Mothership. Sources have said that the plan for the traffickers was to go out to the floating shipment, which was believed to have GPS trackers on it, and recover it, bring it back to the Kerry coastline and ferry it away by road. It's understood that the men came back empty-handed, and it was then the Gardaí moved in and made their arrests. So, what must have happened then in what they're saying there is, if they did cut it loose out at sea, and a lot of these things I'm seeing now that they're actually putting these GPS trackers onto the actual load, and if they just drop it at sea, it's much more discreet than having two boats meeting each other in the middle of nowhere, like, especially if it's spotted on radar or whatever, or if you turn off your transponder all of a sudden when you're near in another boat, and then you suddenly appear an hour later, miles apart from each other or something, like. So I reckon that I reckon that, like, it's more covert, like, if the ship's just going by, they dump the bales out, GPS tracker on it, and they cruise off, for half an hour, and then the lads come out and pick that up wherever it's floating around, and bring it back in, and you kind of hope you haven't been seen. But, like, these lads were obviously already under surveillance, so, like, they weren't doing too good. So they're saying that sources believe that the men in the rib became nervous or disorientated at sea, and that the craft they were using had been damaged. The sea state was understood to be moderate to rough at the time. And this is another thing as well, if people don't know what they're doing going out to sea. They're going out in, let's say, a boat that's maybe not capable for the certain conditions. Now, like, let's say if it's been damaged, like, you know what I mean? And, obviously they don't care, like, they just want to get out and get the drugs and get back, like, to try, make a profit on them. And Roisin said there's not a profitable business, not when you're getting surveilled, you know what I mean? It's definitely not going to be profitable for these lads. So that we're saying it was moderate to rough at the time, and there are now fears that the drugs they missed could wash up on the west coast. So I'm sure there was beaches being scoured. I know here there was a lot of people out scouring beaches and stuff down Wexford when that other trawler ran aground. It's believed it was might have been drugs on that maybe washed out. But yeah, it says while the accepted legal maximum of such operations is that possession is the key, Gardaí are focused on finding enough evidence to progress a conspiracy charge. The men who Gardaí believe were involved are currently detained in Garda stations in Kerry under the anti-gangland legislation. They can, with extensions, be held for 7 days. Now, this was obviously back 2 weeks ago or so. It says, meanwhile, detectives were watching the Mothership, which was located off the west coast. It subsequently went into Limerick, and they searched the ship there, but we'll get onto that there. But sources have said that this type of operation has become increasingly regular, and the vast majority of these shipments are coming in through the coasts of Cork and Kerry, but they have been seen as far north as Donegal, and there's also been operations off the Wexford and Waterford coast. Now, Donegal, there's a lot of isolated places up there, and I'm sure that, if they're strapped for Gardaí in places like Dublin and stuff like that, I'm sure up around there they could be thin on the ground. So there's plenty of little coves and beaches and all, and all over the country. But in these places, I suppose, they're more kind of less populated areas, and it's hard to have people everywhere watching everything. You know what I mean? And it's we're even more kind of, what would you say, stifled in the fact that with the whole crisis, as I was saying earlier, in the naval service, where we can't put enough boats out to sea, and there could be, I know maybe in this instance, whether there was 6 or 8 or 10 naval ships out at sea, that boat still would have had the drugs coming on it, and the intelligence behind the operation really was key there, but at least if there's more naval patrols out there and it's more visible, it's more of a deterrent than what's happening now, when it's all over the news that there's it's no secret that there's not enough naval vessels out there patrolling, and are obviously taking advantage of that. And I see as well, a lot of these drugs are coming in here, but they're not actually for the Irish market. They're being transported on from here. So I'm wondering, is it kind of being seen as more of a soft target from the point of view is that, if you're trying to run them in onto beaches on the south coast of England, there might be more Royal Navy patrols around, or whatever, or Coast Guards or whatever down around, than here, you know what I mean? And it's just a softer target, but get it in here, get it onto a truck, try get it over on the ferry into England, and either sell it there, or maybe even try bring it further on afield to, I have seen shipments where they've come in here and they've been destined for like Europe, like continental Europe, so who knows, but yeah, an awful lot of this happening, but they're saying anyway, the smuggling route between Ireland and South America is a well-trodden one for drug smugglers, and the operation linked to a multi-country gang with connections across Europe. Operations are focused on so-called cooperating, in which the larger cargo ship or trawler brings the drugs close to shore, and are then offloaded to a smaller vessel. The number of successful operations, including the seizure of the MV Matthew, has seen a number of men before the courts on charges. A Garda spokesperson confirmed that the operation and said that 4 men were arrested, aged 30, 31, 39, and 45. Now, I'm going to butcher the name of this, the pronunciation of this, but it's maybe not Mino Gahan in County Kerry on Monday morning. The offence they were arrested for is under Section 72 of the Criminal Justice Act 2006, which deals with the alleged facilitating or enhancing a criminal organisation to commit a serious offence. The 4 arrested males were currently then detained under provisions of Section 50 of the Criminal Justice Act 2007 at Garda stations in the Kerry division. And at the time, Gardaí weren't making any further comment for operational reasons. So anyway, we move on further on. So they're searching, the Gardaí were then searching for up to what they believe was up to €100 million worth of cocaine. They believe that this was being smuggled in on this mothership. it says detectives were satisfied. Now, this is a couple of days later, folks. So it said detectives are satisfied that the four-man gang collected the drugs after they had been dropped off from the Maltese registered bulk carrier MV Royal off the Kerry coast as the ship made its way early on Monday to Foynes in the Shannon estuary after crossing the Atlantic. Gardaí from the National Drugs and Organised Crime Bureau arrested 4 men when they came ashore, as we just discussed there. However, they believe that the gang who put to sea at about midnight on Sunday did successfully collect a consignment of cocaine dropped from the MV Royal, which acted as a mothership for the smugglers and landed it elsewhere along the west coast before returning to the isolated pier. So they may have dropped it off, they're thinking. So it says of those arrested is a 30-year-old fisherman from Derry, while others who are in their 30s and 40s include 2 men from Scotland, a Serbian national living in Manchester as well, and all are being detained under that organised crime legislation. So it says Gardaí seized a number of encrypted mobile phones as well as night vision and satellite navigation equipment when they arrested the 4 men. The equipment has been sent for examination by Garda IT experts in the hope that it will show where the men had sailed to. So maybe they'll get some information there, and that may lead to some further, further lines of inquiry. In a follow-up operation on the Wednesday night, Gardaí and Customs boarded the MV Royal as she lay at anchor in the Shannon estuary and arrested a 28-year-old member of the crew on suspicion that he was involved in dropping off the huge cocaine consignment. Sorry if I'm mincing the words here. The MV Royal left Porto Trombastis, an inland port in northern Brazil, located on a tributary of the Amazon, approximately 1,000 kilometers from the sea. That's not suspect. That ship up the Amazon somewhere, Yeah, okay. On 27th of December, it arrived off the Irish coast on Sunday before making for Foynes, where she arrived on January 12th with a cargo of wood chip. So Gardaí believe the 4 men arrested down in Kerry had been staying in Waterville in South Kerry, and that they had bought a small boat on Dundeel for 10,000 cash in Kenmare after a rigid inflatable boat they had brought with them was damaged at Calla Pier near St. Finian's Bay. And then on the Tuesday night, Detective Superintendent Seamus Boland of the Garda National Drugs and Organised Crime Bureau applied at a special sitting of Killarney District Court for a 72-hour extension to the detentions, as he gave an outline of what Gardaí believe happened. So Gardaí suspect the men were involved in the importation of controlled drugs placed in the water by the vessel known as a Mothership. He said Gardaí said international inquiries were ongoing with Interpol, Europol and the Maritime Analysis and Cooperation Centre and narcotics in Poland or in Portugal and other forces to confirm the identity of the 4 men and to establish their alleged role in the planning and importation of drugs. And the judge granted the extension, which allowed him to question the 4 men. And they were represented by their solicitors, obviously, until late on the Friday night. So they had 4 men arrested then, and then, as I said, they arrested the 5th man. So I'm so sorry here. I'm going to be saying things like that because it's gone late, and so don't mind me. The quality of the stream, or I won't say the stream, the quality of the host seems to go downhill as the stream goes on. But what they were saying is that 5 people arrested, 4 lads from the Rib, and then your man off the boat, the cargo ship. So nobody had been charged as of the Thursday evening, but Gardaí had gathered significant evidence in the case, and mobile phones seized in the operation include a highly encrypted device that we see at the highest level of international crime, the chief superintendent said. Phones and CCTV were currently being analysed. Then they just gave some detail about the ship. They said 1 man, aged 28, was arrested from the suspected Mothership, as we said. And yeah, that's basically it was said about the. Yeah, that's basically the same kind of thing that was going on. So like the four men. So they include a Serbian national who, as we said, had an address in Manchester, and two with addresses in Glasgow, and a man from Derry, and the seaman that was off the boat was a Filipino national. Uh, they said the men are all on low to no incomes, and there was no objection from the state to applications for legal aid. Four of the men, Miljan Koprivica, from Boleyn Drive in Manchester, Ryan Watson of Mailerbeg Gardens in Moddisburn, Glasgow, Gary Monks of Amelry Place in Glasgow, and Conor Costello from Earhart Park, Madam's Bank Road, Derry in Northern Ireland, have been in custody since their arrest. They're the men that were on the rib, and as we said, they had their extension, their period of detention extended. The four men have been charged that on dates between the 11th and 13th of January 2025, inclusive within the state, they conspired with each other in a serious offence, namely the importation of controlled drugs in excess of 13,000, an offence contrary to the Criminal Justice Act 2006. The fifth man, Philejon Leao, Filipino, aged 28, is in custody since his arrest on the cargo ship, and he's also charged with conspiring to import drugs worth over €13,000 with one or more persons unknown. And the descended interpreter was brought over to assist Mr. Lau. Roisin said that's me in the Shannon Estuary. That's down your neck of the woods there. Yeah, and let's dump bales of drugs out in the sea, out in the ocean and rough seas. Yeah, it makes no sense. And even if they did go up on a beach somewhere and drop them off, and I tell you this now, if we had better resources and more resources here, maybe we could have had something in place to be able to go and follow these guys or something, and see where they were going once they left the pier. Like covertly follow them or whatever, but I'm trying to think, I suppose that you can't really be using helicopters or planes to probably see that and notice it, unless you could have something that stood off a bit, and being able to have a look. But drone, that's a good one, but it depends how far out they're going and stuff like that. But there are good capable drones, but I'm saying, like something, something like plausible that the guards on shore could have or something. But the only other thing, I suppose, you could tail them in a boat or something, but it's kind of a hard one. But like if there was some way of keeping a track on where they were going and to be able to see where they went, but hopefully to be able to garner that from the GPS information, but so up to the 20th of January is where, like, I'm looking at my most recent thing in relation to it, and it was saying there's two Filipino sailors been charged with conspiracy following the arrest on a cargo ship, and so far 7 people altogether have been charged in relation to the operation focused on the conspiracy. It says the 2 men appeared in court were Hans Panigan, who was 36, and Christopher Ampo, who's 43, were arrested on the cargo vessel, which is MV Royal, which is the one on screen there. And both are charged that on dates between 11 and 13th of January, they conspired with each other and with another man, Philejon Lau, to import drugs into the state. It says state applied for both cases was to remand him in custody to appear at Tralee District Court on Wednesday, and Judge David Waters remanded both men to Wednesday. 5 other accused have also been remanded in custody in in Tralee to appear via video link after appearing at a special sitting of Killarney District Court on Friday night. The men aged between 45 and 28 include, as we said, I'm only kind of going back over it again. It's the Serbian national, two Scottish men, and a man from Derry, and then of course the two Filipino seamen. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what sort of sentences get handed out here in this case. Sorry, I kind of got a bit laggy there at the end when I was trying to get through that there, but yeah, interesting to see. But it's just showing how much of a soft target we've become for these international gangs trying to import drugs in, and you don't know what else is coming in other than the drugs. If there's weapons coming in or anything like that, because yeah, you can be sure a lot of these organized crime gangs will be trying to get arms in. So it remains to be seen what we're going to be able to do about it. The easy solution, you'd think, would be to obviously get more personnel, but as we said, it's the recruitment thing and all. I think Maria Roche's just outed herself as being in on the plot there. But yeah, so like definitely, if those drugs did make it to shore and they're just lying somewhere now, well, hopefully they do find them before they get into the wrong hands, or perhaps maybe somebody did pick them up and they're gone into circulation wherever now, or perhaps they are still out at sea somewhere, but we'll see as things go on how it plays out and what sort of sentences, and especially with the MV Matthew case as well, what way that pans out in the end. But yeah, and I'm glad we actually got to like kind of go over this one, kind of, because it's kind of interesting to look at some of these things just to see exactly what is actually going on. And like right now, while we're here, like you don't know what's going on out there. I think I can while we're here, like if we have a look here, we go onto the live map here. We just have a look here at Ireland. We'll have a look and see is that boat still down there. Just trying to see if there she is there. No, she's left here. She's up off the coast of, believe it or not, she's up off the coast of Norway and Denmark there. Hopefully not importing drugs into there. Yeah, I thought it might have been still around, but obviously they're not. There was nothing on the ship to detain it as such. They just detained the boyos off it, like. But yeah, as you say, like obviously we won't be able to see if there's naval ships on this here now, like because they only come up. They'll only show up on this when they're coming in and out of the port. Sometimes you'll see it, it might have been on it a few hours ago. Yeah, like there, look at 12 hours and 5 minutes ago, you had Delhi Samuel Beckett heading out. Heading out on patrol, obviously. But as I said earlier on, we're kind of down to having one ship out at a time, which isn't good. And all the rest are up here. And there's one of the new boats that, well, new to us boats that we got off New Zealand. I quite like those boats. They're quite nice. Now I haven't actually seen it. It was in Wicklow, which isn't too far from here. Like, but it was in Wicklow there a while ago. But it was only there. We came late at night, and it was gone early morning. So like, I didn't get to see it. Like, go up and see it or anything. But kind of wanted to see it, take a few photographs. There was talk that it was supposed to come here for the local Ornelli's Maritime weekend, but that didn't materialize. So no, it's a bit disappointed. But yeah, hopefully hopefully get to see it sometime, in the flesh or in the steel, if you want to say that. And then there's one of our other naval ships there. I'm pretty sure she's been sitting there for quite a long time. And they have we had the Roisin, we had the Ellie Roisin as well. But yeah, unfortunately, unfortunately, we don't have people to man all the boats. I'm just kind of looking at now. I'm getting distracted looking at the boats here. But yeah, yeah, I suppose we're being seen as a bit of a soft target now, and that's what's happening. Roche is putting on our wellies and going out with the drones to find things right now, allegedly. Yeah, you have all the equipment there. We just have to get another cargo ship. But yeah, there's a lot of that sort of stuff going on now, around the coast. But it's not a new thing that they've been trying to import stuff into here. Like, you know what I mean? It's been going on a long time, but I mean, it seems to be more now and like more brazen, But hello to Banger Bry, joining us. Good evening to you. Thanks for joining us. So I have another clip there I wanted to play. Yeah, I was looking at better late than ever. Oh yeah, anytime's good. Anytime's good. Trying to find now. See, I remember now, like when I'm kind of getting back into doing the streams, like when I was kind of I'm remembering the way I kind of used to do it. I used to kind of put all the videos that I was going to play together, in another, so I didn't have to go looking, I kind of used to label them as well. Like, it's just this was kind of just kind of forgot that I used to do that, if you know what I mean. No, don't worry, I'll find where I was. I have to check now. Yeah, well, I know. You see, I'll know the next time when I'm doing it that I'll go back to doing that. Yeah, so now I know. I kind of know where I am now because I had that other clip there. Just bear with me for 1 second. Yeah, I'm just trying to find this other video. Oh yeah, I have it now. So this, remember we saying that guy earlier on where he was running around and he didn't seem to know where he was going. I think I found his accomplice. This is another incompetent perpetrator, I suppose. And this guy is like I don't know what you call it. I don't know if he's just like edgy, like where he's like, you know, I don't care if I get caught, or he's just stupid, like. But yeah, this guy's not even trying. I get this up and have a look at this guy, because I wanted to play a couple of clips before I go, you know, and because I don't know if I don't think I get through most of the other, because there was another couple of news stories there, but I don't think I'll be able to hold in there. But but we'll have a look here now anyway. We'll have a look at this little clip and have a look at this guy. But this guy is definitely some relation to that other guy. Sorry about that, folks. I didn't know she was saying that N word there. I know the lady herself is a lady of color there, but you know, I just don't like it being said, if you know what I mean. But see there, that guy just comes out of there. Like, we'll go back there and it's like, I can actually rewind here. See, this is better than when I used to do this before, when I used to have to play the clip. It was never set up like this. So this way, at least I can pause it and you can actually talk over it. Before I had to play the whole entire clip, I couldn't, unless I was playing it from a tab, let's say. But if I was trying to share a video that I had on a computer, I used to always have to play that entire clip and then kind of, like, you know, there was no, you couldn't interject, or you couldn't kind of it wasn't easy to kind of go back to pieces of it or whatever. But like, you can see here from this clip, like, that's not even a proper balaclava. Like, it's like it's like the insert out of a helmet or something like that. But it is kind of, it's like a face thing, like, but like, come on, like, it's not like what I find amazing about that is that yeah, no, I'm sorry about that, Dr. Nimrod. I actually, like, I had watched this clip before, obviously, before I played, but I just never thought that. Then that's why when I'm more organized, I have things, you know, set up better, like, you know. So I do apologize for that, and I don't like that being, you know, words like that being used, and there's a number of words that I don't like. It's not nice, and you know, like and I suppose it doesn't matter if it's even like, you know, to say, like, I suppose what I'm saying is that would you use that word a lot in like hip hop music and stuff like that when when they be, you know, what I'm saying is that, like, you know, people use it, you know what I mean. With Banger Price, what bothers me is how it's okay for some to say and not for others. And that's what I was saying to you. What I was saying is that, you know, it's used a lot in like hip hop music or in stuff like that. And then what I'm saying is that this lady here obviously has said it. She's referring to the guy in the shop, like, you know, and I know that it could be slang among, you know, those communities to each other, like, you know, and it's not like, you know, I wouldn't be saying it to somebody or, you know, whatever. But yeah, I know, I apologize for that being there. Like, but yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's just I was kind of mortified when that played there. I was like, oh no, she didn't just say that. I was like, oh, that's a schoolboy error there to be, you know. But you know, yeah, not only for that as well. Aside from all that too, it's another thing that, you know, as well with the what would you say, the policies on YouTube and all that, with stuff like that being used. And I know it, like there's a lot of before, like you couldn't say certain swear words, let's say on YouTube, like, you know, we're not going to say swear words now or whatever, but I'm just saying, you know, like run of the mill swear words people say, you know, when you break something or, you know, whatever, like, and they kind of loosened up about that. There's some like channels where the people are like cursing every second sentence or whatever, like, you know, and whatever, and you can like that's okay now as such, if you know what I mean, like in terms of they're kind of more what you mean, like open with that sort of thing, if you know what I mean. Obviously you can't be using slurs and all that, like, or whatever, and there are certain things you can't say, like, but I mean, like, you know, the F word, the S word, stuff like that, kind of people saying it, and you know, it's not like it was before, like, you know. But yeah, yeah, it's just as well, I find as well, it's like, if I don't if I'm watching videos of other people or whatever, I don't mind just cursing in it as such, you know, depending on the thing. But, you know, I know there's some people that don't like it, especially if it's repetitive, like it's constantly F this, F that, you know, or whatever, like people kind of don't want to listen to that, like, or whatever. But, yeah, but that's the thing as well, like, some people may say things like, and I'm not talking about like slurs or anything, but I'm saying like some people may say things like, you know, that's the thing about words, you know. Some people may say things and some people find something funny and other people are offended by it, and it's kind of hard as well to it's kind of hard, like when you're in certain things. Like I always find with comedians, you know, like if you go to a comedy show and there's, you know, you obviously have an idea what a particular comedian's like before you go see him. Like, you know, I know there's probably times when people have randomly went to see a comedian they've never heard of, but I'm just saying you kind of have an idea of who you're going to see and you kind of know what their style is. So, like, you know, when people go to certain comedians, like I'll say, for example, like there was a whole controversy with Tommy Tiernan here in Ireland. People went to one of his gigs and there was a joke made at, I can't even remember what it was, but there was some joke made at that, and people got upset about it or whatever. And I think in those situations where it's not like being like, you know, where like he's not intending to hurt anyone, it's a joke at a comedy show. It's not like he's saying it to someone online, you know, or he's shouting it at someone in the street or whatever, you know. It's a part of his routine or whatever, like, you know, and someone gets upset when they go to the show or whatever. And I just don't, I've never understood that as such, because if you're going to a comedy show and they're making jokes about it particularly, you kind of, I don't know, I always think you put yourself in that situation to go. I know, like, there can be things that you're allowed to be offended by something, but I'm saying when there's people that have went to these shows, there's a joke being made and then they've raised hell about it and nearly had people cancelled. But I'm thinking, you know, I just don't see how you didn't know that they were kind of edgy like that, or they, you know, they kind of said stuff like that. So it's kind of, yeah, like you're saying, Dr. Nimrod, you can't please everybody all the time, you know. But yeah, there's always going to be someone, I suppose, that doesn't like what you're saying or doing or whatever, like. But you know, there's people that could be abhorrent, you know, what they're saying or doing. So there's, like, I suppose there's a level to it, like, you know. But yeah, but as I was saying, like, I can tolerate certain things, but I try not to kind of I'm pretty sure there has been a few times where I've let an old curse slip on a stream or something. It's be only on a stream, because whenever I'd be doing the videos, you know, like the normal videos, you'd be kind of editing the videos, you'd be like listening back or what's, but this, you know, you could be just talking and something happens, you go, oh, this or that or whatever, you know. And I think it's happened to me once or twice when I've been out doing a live stream outside. I said something or whatever, like, and you know, but I try not to, just for the sake that you don't, you know, like some people don't like that, and like it doesn't. To me, I'm thinking just to sit here cursing, you know, or whatever. Like, I don't know if it doesn't really add anything as such. You know, it may put more people off watching the video than it would attract people. You know, they can still say the same things without cursing, I suppose. You know, but of course there will be times when something slips up or you say something, but like, you know, hopefully it'll never be anything mad, like, you know what I mean, but like, you know, no S word or something like that, and something goes wrong or whatever. But yeah, and Dr. Nimmer said, I never found Tiernan offensive. He is a comedian that can't help stop his mouth when on stage for a laugh. Whether I can, yeah, can't stop his mouth when on stage to get a laugh if you aren't Irish. But yeah, that's the thing. Like, I've never found him offensive. Like, I even listening to his stuff way before, like, you know, when he was first, I remember, I can't remember, I bought something before. I was just back in the days of Extravision where it was on the go, and I ended up, I got a free Tommy Tiernan DVD with something, and because I had never seen him, you know, or heard of him. Well, I'd heard of him, but I'd never like seen any of his stuff or whatever until then. And I remember getting this free DVD with something and watching it. And I thought it was quite funny or whatever. And yeah, some of the jokes were like, oh, you know, that's, you know, whatever, like, you know. But I never was like, oh, I'm offended by that. Like, I've seen, like, there even are people that are. You know, there are people out there, like, for example, if they're making jokes about particular people or whatever, and there are some people that maybe in the audience that are of that denomination or whatever they're poking fun at, and like they're able to take it, you know, because they've went to the thing, they're expecting jokes, and you know, so yeah, like I never found him offensive that way, and I can't really remember what that controversy was over, but I remember after that they stopped allowing people to bring mobile phones into it, because I think somebody was trying to you know, was recording something, then it was taken out of context online, what he said or what he meant by something. And it's just, you know, that's got to the stage where somebody always ruins it, don't they? Like, you know, but I've never got that too as well, going to, like, it's okay, I don't mind people going to a concert and taking a little video, you know, for your own like purposes or whatever, like, but like, you know, to sit there and video the whole concert is a bit, you know, whatever. I see we have Kiwi Dave has joined us, and thanks very much for the. Oh, there, I'm after hitting the wrong thing there. Thanks very much for the super chat, Dave. Appreciate it there. Sorry about that. I was just I was trying to do it on this, and this isn't. He said, "Careful now, I'm here, so play nicely." And thanks very much for that, Dave. And I actually gave you a shout out at the start of the stream there. I was just saying that you hadn't been well there at the moment. It wasn't nothing serious as such or nothing like that, but I just said that we were sending our best wishes to you and hope that you get well soon. So I'm glad to see you here, and I'm hoping that you're doing okay. So and I hope of course as well that you didn't mind me saying that, Dave. I probably should have said that to you, that I was going to say that, but I just thought I'd give a shout out, because you're normally always here for the streams, and I'd noticed you weren't here on the one of the last premieres. I was actually talking with Roisin in the side chat on it, and I was actually but the stream or the premiere had ended by that stage, and I said I never got around to saying it, but I was saying I noticed Dave wasn't here, you know, but yeah, so I hope you're doing good there, and it's good to see you. I'm glad you made it to the stream, even though we're kind of on the yeah, I wanted to put that up, but to see, I was saying this at the start. I'm just trying to get back into this again, and there's been a few rusty moments like here where I've been trying to try to find trying to find videos and stuff like that. Very disorganized, you know. But yeah, it's great to see you there, and thanks very much for the super chat as well. Yeah, because I have this here on the computer, but I have the phone at the side there, so I can see the chat on YouTube because it comes up on this, but I can't do the same things on this as I can on that. So I have kind of a double setup. So yeah, the multitasking will have to get better. Um, yeah, we're not too far off the finish line because I was starting to fade there not so long ago. I was starting to mince words and everything, and um, yeah, I've but we've had a diverse discussion, Dave. We were talking about hedgerows, about how to construct. I can't even remember. We had all the terminology down and everything, and we were good to go. Like, and then we went on to current affairs, and geez, we've been on a good bit. We actually got to the mothership thing, the actual title of the video. We got to that there. Just we just finished that off there before you had arrived there. But yeah, I was showing this clip. I don't know if you've seen that. Um, yeah, I clearly haven't been drinking. Um, yeah, no, Dr. Emerson, how has it been a father? No, I'm adjusted anyway. It's been a learning curve for sure. Anyway, but yeah, I don't know where the time just seems to be going. I don't know where it's going. Like, do you know what I mean? So that's scary, how quickly it's gone by. Um, yeah, so I can't. But yeah, I'm getting sleep. Yeah, getting sleep because he's fairly good now. Like, like I think we're kind of being blessed that way, and the fact that he just like he goes down, he sleeps all night. Now he's had a couple of nights, where he kind of get up or whatever, but it's not really a thing where he's like totally unsettled or nothing. Like he might wake up in the middle of the night, could be awake for a few minutes and go back asleep, but just never. Fingers crossed. We've been lucky anyway that we haven't had someone, that he's up and down all night or anything like that, kind of. And to be honest, like he's kind of been very good since he was born, like in that respect, like. So yeah, no, good, and I'm enjoying it, So it's always something new as well, and it's kind of I have to keep on my toes now because he's got to the stage where he's not walking yet, but he's like, able to stand up and walk or like, walk around with support, like, if you know what I mean. So it won't be long till he's kind of. We're already, having it because with the crawl and all, so we're already having to do the likes of the putting baby gates up and stuff like that. But yeah, the first birthday was there in November, so he's gone over the year there now, so he's 15 months now. So like I was just saying, like another 9 months to be 2 years, like, and I honestly don't know where that went. With the first 15 months there, I don't know where that's after going. Um, crazy, like, um. Yeah, that's got to be the problem. Yeah, when he becomes a teenager. And what was that I saying the other day? It was a good quote. It says, "By the time you realize your father was right, you'll have a son that thinks you're wrong." So I was thinking, yeah, that's about it. But yeah, I was just saying there with that the clip there. I was just saying that guy there's totally amateur. Like we looked at a clip there earlier where there was a guy, he didn't know where he was going, trying to get away from a police helicopter, and this guy's like his cousin. Look at this, like, let me go back there. Like, that is cat. That is like, like, I just don't understand why he even bothered to wear that thing. Like, I just reckon this guy is probably, out of it. Like, I just don't get why I give him 5 points for effort, I suppose, trying. Yeah, Dave said we need to get him a little all black jumpsuit, teach him how to support the proper rugby team. Oh no, that's fighting words. But we'll yeah, but I suppose, yeah, you can't go bad with the All Blacks. you know. So we yeah. Yeah, I said that would look cool though. Dr. Nimrod said mine is a teenager almost, and she's being very girly around boys now. Papas is so happy with that, and that's the thing as well. Like I think it must be like the teenage years for with having a kid. I suppose are probably the most, because I just think of what like we were getting up to when I was a teenager and stuff, and uh, you know, this and like you think things nowadays are like different than they were back then as well. Like you know, so like. But yeah, I'd say yeah that's the part that I'm kind of worried about as well, because it's different when they're like younger and smaller, and there's kind of, you know, but when they start going out and there's more independence and stuff like that, it's quite quite a different story, like, you know. Yeah, Dave saying, Dr. Nimrod, hope you have the locks on the windows. That's the thing, like I remember doing that a few times, sneaking out or whatever, and when you think back now, it's like half the time it was pointless. It was just for the sake of it, you know. But I suppose that's the thing. Like you kind of do things you're not supposed to do when you're kind of pushing the boundaries or whatever. Like, but I do that a lot now with a few friends, you know, that have kind of been around since those days. You know, kind of go back and kind of reminisce about what used to go on, and you know what used to get up to and stuff like that. And it's kind of you know, I don't think maybe you should be doing that, like, because it's only kind of get you thinking again. Essentially, we used to get up to that, you know. But sure, you know, we turned out all right after anyway. We hope anyway. But like this gentleman here in the video is not going to get too far. But as we've seen already, he only gets out into the parking lot. But I don't know, he went in there, seems like just for a few snacks. He didn't want to pay. It's like he just stands there waiting to be tackled. It's like something out of a cartoon, like. But yeah, he definitely has to be an accomplice of that guy from the earlier clip. I definitely think so. Yeah, that's what happens here. Sometimes you just kind of get sidetracked, and we go in and we talk about it, because you never know. Like I don't even know. I think I just mentioned that thing about hedges earlier, and then we ended up kind of down a rabbit hole of hedges. But yeah, you never know. But I had the thing up there. How is the people still there? Hang on there. I'm gonna put this up on the thing. We have our man there. He's after getting locked up there. Just gonna go and just gonna throw this up there now before we have a look at this before we. Oh no! See, this is what I'm talking about. The wrong thing up. Right. So yeah, I was just gonna throw this back up there before I head off. Just see what's going on there. There was a conversation. I tried to get it up on the screen there a second ago, but it was one of those guys with one of those sandwich boards. I don't know what he was advertising. I didn't get to see it, but he was trying to accost somebody there. You Yeah, I didn't think to be, but I suppose it is a bank holiday weekend here, so now there's the po. Cool if there was like a few more cameras. I know there's one on O'Connell Street. You can see and all, and another one too. If I ever do in a stream, well, especially in the summer because it'll be brighter for longer in the evenings. Like if I'm ever doing a stream there in the afternoon in the summer or even in the evening, like might be able to like because there's a Dublin port cam as well, so be able to see just have that up as well, see what's going on down there. Oh, look at this guy here. Thought he was gonna provide us with some entertainment. It looked like he was going to interact with those seagulls, to be quite honest. Pretty sure there I can don't know if that guy's walking or trying to run. Don't know what's going on there. Can zoom in here a bit. What's going on down there? Must be a bar there or something. I'm not quite sure. Or them men are standing outside. I don't know if it'll be still open at this time, unless they're standing outside somewhere having a smoke or something. Let's see where these lads are going. Banger Bryce saying, can someone tell me why that place is so popular? From what I've seen, it's nothing special. I'm not quite sure. Like it's like I've seen in it and all, like, you know what I mean? It's just a pub, like, or whatever. But I think it's just the fact of it just has that what would you say, like, fame or whatever to it, you know, from being like an iconic place where people get a picture taken, I suppose, and you know, I suppose if people like it's just one of those touristy spots, I suppose, isn't it? Like all the tourists seem to gravitate there to get a picture and to get a pint. You'll say I had a pint there, and that's why I was actually saying earlier in the stream. I said, like, it's all right if you're a tourist, you come over and you say, "Ashton, we'll go in and we'll have one," and we'd say we were in there, and if just a bit of music on, you know, you might get some value out of your tenner you're going to pay for your pint or whatever. But like, you know, you wouldn't sit in there all day drinking a lot of those prices anyway, like, you know. And if you're a tourist and you're sitting in there, you obviously you don't know that that's, you know, extortionate or whatever. You think, oh, maybe it's normal or whatever. But you know, like you go a couple of streets away or a little bit further away, or you know, to other pubs, and like you would get cheaper pints or whatever, and you know, but like paying tenner or even more than a tenner, like at times or whatever, for a pint is just ridiculous. Like, and then like if you think about it that way too, if you're going out for food, like the price of eating out and all has gone up. So like if you're going out and you're trying to get food, have a few drinks and all of those sort of prices, like it wouldn't be long about, you know, spending your money. But like places like that there in these areas just have a high footfall of tourists and stuff like that, and that's why they kind of get away with paying those prices. You wouldn't see that many locals now sitting in those places drinking or whatever, or prices like that anyway, you know. Like I've any time I've really been in this area would probably be in the daytime, you know. I was ever up there at nighttime, anytime I've ever been in Dublin for like a few drinks or anything like that, has been we were in a place. I'm trying to think. I don't think it was on this. I think it was up near Smithfield, actually. I'm not sure though. No, sorry. No, we were in a place that wasn't too far away from here, but it's different. Like it wasn't the same thing. Like, you know, it wasn't those sort of prices or anything. And then also, as well. I remember years ago, so I was staying in a hotel in Harcourt Street, and we went to the nightclub at the hotel there, and I remember you had to get into where the accommodation was. You had to come out of the nightclub, onto the street, out onto Harcourt Street, like, and then like walk, like, I don't know, like, it's literally it was only about 20 or 30 steps down the road, we'll say, to get into where the door was, to get into the accommodation or whatever. And it was carnage outside after the nightclub like spilled out onto the street. It was absolute carnage, and I was glad we weren't like going anywhere else. We only had to walk a few steps to get in, because there was madness going on. There was taxis, there was lads, I said there was a few lads fighting and all that. This was like right at the time when the nightclub was it was just it was chaos. And I said thank God we're going into this place now. We don't have to walk down through all that. Yeah, that's the thing. Banger, like they get you like in those tourist places. Like that's what all the price you got to pay higher. Like and but like you see the same like there. Like you find things in Temple Bar, like, and to be far more expensive than anywhere else there. It's just because it's a place where all the tourists go. But it's always someone out to make money, isn't there? You say no, you didn't stay there, Harker Street. That's the worst spot in Dublin around there. Yeah, I kind of like I can't remember what we were up there for something anyway, and I remember I just booked in there. I remember the room they gave us in the place as well was ridiculous. It was like it was upstairs. It was practically in the attic. Because it was in the attic, like, because the roof was slanted in the room, like, and there was no window in the room. It was a skylight. So yeah, it was an attic room, like, it was a skylight, and it was a bit ridiculous, like. Man's having a rest there by the pub. Yeah, but yeah, with all was carnage up there, and then I said, nah, never again. But like the hotel was all right, like, you know what I mean, and there was a nice little Italian place on the corner of it. That I used to I like the pizzas out, but they were nice. There seems to be a bit of something going on here now. There's people in the scene. Kiwi Dave saying, right, I am going to bow out. I'll watch it later during the night. And thanks very much for coming by. Dave, it's good to see you and good to hear that you're doing well there. And yeah, and I'll be back with another live stream as well, like very soon. Because as I said, I want to kind of get back into doing the streams again. But yeah, and all the best with everything. I hope everything goes well for you. And yeah, and thanks very much as well for the super chat again. I really appreciate it. And rest up and take care of yourself. And I know we won't be too much longer behind you before we wrap things up anyway. So what time is it now? It's actually 10 to 4 in the morning. And there's a lot of people still milling around there. But yeah, cheers for joining us, Dave. Thanks very much. Yeah, I'd see Dr. Roger said there's a few women going around there. I'd see that lady that was there with them. Well, there's something going on over there now. I don't know what that lad's doing. But yeah, I thought there was going to be some sort of a row there or something. What's this lad? I don't know what he was doing there. Hope he wasn't picking up cigarette butts off the ground to smoke the ends of them, He would, hopefully not. That's not good. You have a lot of stragglers now still out and about. They've just said to us all enjoy the rest of your week, and I hope everyone does enjoy the rest of their week. We'll try anyway. I don't know what the weather has in store for us here this week. I know it's supposed to get a bit cold again, but sure, that comes with the season, I suppose. It's still kind of that sort of unsettled weather, like, so I don't really mind too much as long as it's dry, you know. I don't really like the cold, but I'd rather it just be dry, you know. And sometimes we do be here, and you'll see people posing for photos in front of that there. They're doing videos in front of it. Yeah. Well, he's heading off. I don't know what these lads up there, if they're like, where's the Key West again? They were here actually. I was flicking through there earlier on, and they were going up that road there earlier on in the stream. This was on the background, but wonder did them lads ever get any hassle of drunk people, you know? You know, when they're out on the street there, and people coming up to them and, you know, messing around or something, like, you know. Probably grand though when you're the driver of that. Well, maybe not actually with drunk people going around. You probably want to have eyes in the back of your head and to walk out front of you, like, have to jam on there a bit. But we see this live garbage loading here. This is going to be the peak of the stream. We're going to see this authentic Irish garbage disposal. I think the boys are just looking at it going, there, can we just not see that mess and leave it for the next lads? It's quite a bit of, maybe they're taking a picture of us. Look at the state of this. You leave out bags of rubbish like that, but I think they're gonna. There's the men. I could be. Oh no! Oh no! Did we just witness that? Did you see that? It just spilled all over the street. That's somebody doing a bad tie job. Like, I'm not blaming the garbage guy there. He's just, you know, you should leave that to the curb, knowing that he's gonna throw that in. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know why it was untied. Here come the wheelie bins. For some reason I thought they had one of those big massive bins. Oh no, they do. Oh no, it's two small wheelie bins. Sorry, I thought it was a big dumpster, like. Oh, there's the cops. But we zoom out here. Oh, there's too much happening, guys. Oh, look at this little thing. Ah, a guard on a bike. Oh, it's happening here. Look at this. I know, come back, guards. Just stuff to do up here. Yeah, bag broke there. Your man. What's going on here with this thing? Yeah, it's been going around collecting as well. Yeah, like he was throwing the bag into the back of the truck there, and it's like the top of it wasn't tied. Someone had just like twisted it or something, and then when he threw it, it flung open and all this stuff fell out onto the road. And lucky, it looks like it's just recycling though. By the look of it, it looks like it's just like plastic cardboard. But fair play as well that they're actually picking it up, you know. Like, I'm not saying that they would just drive off and leave, but you know what I mean. You know, people say that's, you know, whatever. But yeah, no, fair play to them. Like, they're doing a good job there. Guard got around a bicycle there as well, like, you know, kind of to go up and down the laneways. But you can be sure somewhere in the city there's something going down. You know? Got all that rubbish up there. What's that? Is that something crawling? There's probably a bird, like, I was gonna say, is that a rat? Where the mouse? Can you see my mouse? No, my mouse doesn't show. Oh, does it? Oh, it does. I was trying to say to show up at the stream. Yeah, there was something there on the ground. There, it's moving. Ah, it's a bird. It's a bird. I hope it's a bird. This is the underbelly of Temple Bar here now at 4 in the morning. On the phone. Probably try to get a taxi. Oh, no, well, you would. What am I? That's my rural mentality there about ringing a taxi. They just hail a taxi. But yeah, thought that was two guards with riot shields coming down the road there. It's just these sandwich board dudes again. Well, there was a different guy there. I think it could have been one of those actually, I'm not sure. That costs somebody to come in for food or something, is it? What advertising? Don't know. Couldn't make it out. You do see some of them there that might be standing there advertising for, like, you know, a restaurant, or maybe in the daytime you might have people advertising for a beauty place. Anyway, things seem to be quiet. Birds constantly on the go up there, isn't there? Seagulls, pigeons. But yeah, and that's something I'll do as well. It'll be interesting to do a live stream. I actually should do that someday. Just do a live stream sometime in the daytime, and like kind of, well, you know, not too early, like, you know, maybe like in the evening or something like that, and have a look at this when it's much more busy during the day. But then at night time it's good too for the see what goes on around the pub and all there. But it's mad when you see how busy it is. Like a few hours ago, and now it's nearly empty altogether. But yeah, they are talking about like kind of extending the licensing hours, like to have the pubs open later. You know, the whiffy liffy. Oh, there's more pom-poms. Seems to be much going on tonight. Not in this area anyway. No, there's Scotchies. They're saturating the area here anyway. It's of course obviously tourist spot, like, but I'm just saying, like, there's I've seen somebody Gardaí in this here, you know what I mean, on when we've been watching the cameras. The guy on the bikes, I don't know if it's the same guy or a different guy, but there's a guy on the bike there, a minute going off, same guy, and then two of them, and then there was like, we seen the Garda van earlier, and then there was a squad cars went by a few times. Yeah, for some reason when the guard could have turned, I was going to go down after that guy on the bicycle or something. One observation I will make about the guard on the bike, though, there's no lights on his bike as far as I can see from here. You know, you need to lead by example there. I know it's well lit, but you know what I mean? Like, just even for his own safety, these trucks or something come out, you know, or there's still public transport going around, like. Like, obviously, this is a touristy spot and all that, like, but, you know, I suppose it is good to see guards on the street and all, but, like, I wouldn't be surprised you hear somewhere tomorrow there was some assault somewhere. Now, I'm not saying that they can be everywhere to prevent every assault. You're obviously going to get that no matter what, like, but I'm just saying there'll probably be some report over the weekend because it's bank holiday weekend, a lot of people out drinking too much, and there'll definitely be some assault or some incident, you know what I mean? But like, it is good to see guards out in the street. But I'd be interested to see if we had a camera somewhere else, maybe in a not so touristy spot, to see how often they're going by or whatever, you know. We're just over the top of that lane there, they're kind of still just kind of looking around. I think it might be coming back down the lane. Well, I suppose with the vest on, like, you know, it'd be hard to miss him, like, with the big, like the vest that he'd be wearing on the bike, like, is a lot more like it's a lot more fluorescent material on it than, let's say, the other normal uniforms. Out of kind of only that bit at the top. Where's the van now? Or they've been waiting to be picked up or something. Into the van, lads. Yeah, you wouldn't know what would be going on. Could be kind of gone a bit quieter now, you know, and they're kind of having a bit of a chat there. Yeah, guys, I think we're going to wrap up the stream now here. I'm fairly tired, if I do say so myself. But yeah, I'm definitely going to be back with another live stream very soon, and obviously another video. I'm pretty sure the next video. Oh yeah, no, I am sure. I'm pretty sure I am sure. The next video that I will have should be, but it'll definitely be here before Thursday anyway. Probably come out maybe Wednesday, Thursday. But yeah, it'll be about some DUIs. I've come across a few clips. Two from the UK and one from the US involving, you know, DUIs. But the one from America is quite bizarre with the way the lady in the clip gets herself detected, you know. So yeah, it should be an interesting one. But yeah, that should be ready about then, and then obviously we'll have more live streams. I'm not sure when the next live stream will be, but I do want to cover, as I said, some of the stories I didn't get to cover tonight, such as the couple of those youth crimes or whatever. So I'm going to keep those because those are quite, you know, interesting or whatever. And then those takeaway workers, like it was said, the two chefs. Because that's mad, that story is. And kind of a few other bits, and then one involving a poor chap from Greystones who has an intellectual disability. He was in Dublin for a day out, like he goes up and has days out on his own. You know, he's quite independent and stuff. And he unfortunately, well, he didn't. He was prevented, like, because the first time, well, I'll get into it when I'm talking about it, but he went up for a day out anyway, and these two girls tried to take advantage of him by getting him to withdraw money from his ATM, and they were asking him for money in one of the shops he was in, and they had the shopkeeper in there had kind of told him to leave him alone, and he kind of knew what they were at, but obviously, like, he can't follow the chap around or whatever, so they accosted the young lad again somewhere else, and got him to go to an ATM and take out money or whatever, and they were giving him some sub story about the needed money and this, that, and the other. And of course, the poor chap thought he was only helping him out or whatever. And but thankfully, they have got the two girls that were doing that, and I think they've been doing it to a number of other people. So we'll have a look at that, and delighted that they've caught the people, and hopefully it doesn't dent the young lad's confidence in and I say young lad, he's not a kid or nothing like that. He's he's an adult, like. But I'm just saying, I hope it doesn't. He's younger than me, like. But I'm just saying, I hope he doesn't. Hope it doesn't dent his confidence in going out on his own like that. Now that people go and take advantage of it, I hate that as well. That's just low, doing that because they deliberately, for a fact, like they deliberately taking advantage of him just for the fact that they know that he's not. That he has a disability, like but yeah, like but yeah, that's terrible when that happens, like. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was a bit of a kind of terrible, but luckily they got the two people, the two girls. I think they're like teenagers as well or whatever, But yeah, terrible. But yeah, hopefully that's all good for that chap. So we look at that and we look at a few of the other stories. And like I said, yeah, because it was just so I'll keep a note of what ones I didn't cover or whatever, and we can have a look at those. There's people just before we go to that she was a bit worse for wear there. Look at you're on Degenerate Watch, folks. Thank you, lads. Thank you, lads. Little do they know, or do they know? Do they know? They may know. That's why they did that. Of course they know. But yeah, the lads. I think a lot of people just know that camera's there, Yeah, I was just thinking, like, imagine we were able to set up like a desk there, and then we could like live stream on the live stream. Yeah. Yeah. People have an event there. If people come up and all, jump on for a quick interview or something like. But yeah, they went down there and came back up. Must be lost, I guess. Oh, what's going on there? Anyone took off her jacket and then she put it back on. Yeah, imagine there was a speaker there. You're on Degenerate Watch. There is actually audio on that camera. I turn it up a little bit. Yeah, I think it's picking up the sound there. Anyway, it's so yeah, if there was a bit of argy bargy going on there, a bit of a row, like you'd be able to. You think you might be able to like decipher what's being said. But yeah, definitely an interesting one too. I'll try keep in mind to see if there's any like you know, if when St. Patrick's Day, that's a good one. That's coming up. It'll be fairly busy here. So we might see some antiques. So we could have some sort of a St. Patrick's stream maybe where we don't necessarily plan to talk about a particular topic. We're just kind of gonna flick around a few of the Dublin cams and see what's happening. Is there any madness going on or anything? Yeah, that might be a plan actually. Be a bit of crack as well here, just to sit here and have a chat about whatever, like what people are doing for St. Patrick's Day wherever you are and all. And yeah, so we might do that. Be interesting to see what goes on here, especially with just people being out drinking all day. Yeah, another reason not to go to Temple Bar. They'll overcharge you for a pint, and then you'll have people listening to you and watching you. But I can't remember. I've been there before, and I've looked up where that camera is, and I can't remember if there's actually a sign there that says, you know, oh, there's a camera, like, you know, it's telling you like that's there, or whether it's just inconspicuous. I know the one that's on O'Connell Street's in one of the gift shops there. That's kind of up on a roof looking down, so that's kind of just before we go, I'll just out of curiosity, I'll see because that's the main be a busy spot there. We'll have a look and see. Yeah, I can throw this one up there just real quick, and we can see what's happening outside the GPO. Of course, we will monitor things at Temple Bar. People have appeared. Are those people from earlier again? No. Well, we go to the GPO in 1 second there. We see what these fellas are at. What are you doing, boys? Oh, they're gonna look at themselves on the camera, aren't they? I'll get the webcam up there. Look at watch. Look at we can see ourselves. It little did I know they're on Degenerate watch. And Degenerate watch, boys. Oh man, the white jacket looks rowdy. It looks like a liability. Okay. Oh, see, this is the sort of thing that this is how it starts, you know, lads just shouting at lads and look where you there. See, look at your mans and bits. And bits. He seems merry though, you know. He doesn't seem like he's aggro, like, you know. We caught you having a look there, sir. Obviously some discussion going on there. That's being said here. Oh yeah, we have the sound, folks. It's amateur move there. I thought it might have been. She didn't look too happy, did she? I don't think she looked too happy there. See, I forgot about it tonight, but there's like I can't do it here. Oh, maybe I can. No, I can't. What's that for? Oh yeah, no, sorry. So they're saying this. Oh, sorry, I was having a nightmare there for a second. Yeah, I was going over to the O'Connell Street cam there till those a lot of people just showed up. Let me just say now I'm all over the place here. Right, there. I'm gonna get this hopefully up. And of course, when is my street? I shouldn't have asked. You know what? We'd come outside and take part in the broadcast. Quite busy along here, you know. Even still at this time, like statues all kind of little purple there. But yeah, nothing really going on there. But yeah, I was just trying to say, there was no action going back on in the other place. But yeah, anyway, I think I'm gonna head on anyway and hit the hay, as they say. But yeah, as I said, I'll be back in the next couple of days with the next video on the channel, which will of course be that. I'll just go back to that there for a second. Which will be that video, as I said, about those DUIs, those 3 clips that I have. And of course, we will be back with with another live stream in the next couple of days as well. So I thank everybody for joining me, and I do thank anyone that's been here right from the beginning. I think Dr. Nimrod's been here right from the start, so thank you for sticking with us for so long. And of course, yes, this is a good closing scene. We have the Gardaí coming back down the road. But yeah, thanks to everyone that stayed with us there since the start, and everyone that's watched this, and anyone that's watched this right through on the replay. Thank you very much if you're still with us. But yeah, I hope you all have a good rest of your weekend. Of course, the bank holiday here, and it'll be another quiet day for myself tomorrow. I think might try get out and do a bit of a walk or something like that, all weather permitting, I suppose. It doesn't look too bad here now, I suppose. It's not raining. So yeah, not raining, get out and about and whatever. But yeah, I will be back, and I will have we'll have another video coming and another live stream. And of course, I will keep you up to date on what's happening. So thanks very much, everybody, and have a great weekend. And take care of yourselves.